Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Are you frustrated by your focus in games being fractured by poor technology and a style that goes back to the 80s even if you were born in the 90s? Then look no further than ACG Slather Junk. That's right, a new line of ACG products that are guaranteed to improve your hip thrust, hip fire, and sniper headshotting kills. Where all other imitators just buy something from a company and have a sticker just thrown on it so they can sell you merchandise, which really only results in you walking around with their head near your tits. Not ACG, baby, no way. These are handcrafted by the skilled five-fingered mittens of yours truly, put together with an aim to increase your juice. Look at these headphones, spray painted with ACG right on their side, and you can't tell me that won't raise your game, elevate your heart rate, and make you the best high-test, low-rest motherfucker on the planet. We've got everything: jugs, mugs, skirts, shirts, burkas, guns, cars, headphones, webcams, earbuds, ear cams, face tattoos, and genital piercings. It's all there. Like I said, this isn't just the normal item pulled from the shelves like all other creators out there and then slathered with their name. These are made from genuine angel dust, and not the snortable kind, but the kind you get when you grab an angel and wring its body free of its magical powers that slowly dies to light the frozen fires of excellence in all our products. ACG Slathered Junk. I take care of you when no one else will. All the shit total BS, and like all other creators, it's not better than normal marketed brands, but buy my shit, please. In a world where first-person shooters are relegated to been there, done that status, a new contender has arrived. Today we announce Call of Carrack 2, the Karakaning Limited Unlimited Collector's Ultimate Exclusive We Ran Out of Fancy Shit Names Edition. Where other video game editions just give you a couple items, we here at Crack Design Incorporated Productions want to reward you, the gamer. Now we have marketing data that proves that all the other shit you get matters more to you guys than the game. So when you buy for a limited but ultimately unlimited time and purchase the Unlimited Collector's Limited Edition, you get DLC that'd be sold later in a complete package, a gun painted like a giraffe, a gun painted like you would probably paint it, a deck of completely unrelated and all-way playing cards, a specially designed Zika-sized mask guaranteed to fit no one, and lastly, get access to the PC version early so you can beta test that bitch for us. But most importantly, for a completely unlimited time to make you feel like you need to rush out and get it, we have an oversized, completely ridiculous statue lit up with Christmas tree lights that we won't tell you how much it costs us to make, but you can bet some kid in China's pounding these out 20 a day while high-fiving a statue of Xi Jinping on his way out every morning. And to close this off, here's a list of bullet points that we needlessly make look like they're all in the special editions, but are actually just in the game. The game. A manual, like that's somehow special. An explanation of the modes right here because it's got numbers in it. It'll make you think there's more going on. And lastly, multiple times where we can use the word epic and massive to make sure that you feel like you're going into a Michael Bay movie. So buy now and join the epic, interconnected, massive, scorching, huge, big word, interactive, open, but really hub world gameplay experience. This is somehow already being claimed as a classic, an instant hit, and amazing. But what I do is I have a tendency to so I have like a karate chop sleep. So I like sleep like this. And what I found is tucking, no lie, man, if you have like a short sleeve shirt on for sleep.
Yeah.
If I grab my sleeve and I put my arm in the shirt, it actually is super comfortable, like a child putting their arms.
It is. It's cozy.
And it holds the
You're
arm.
being embraced.
Yeah, because like when I go to sleep, I wish one arm wasn't connected because I'm like, dude, this fucking arm's useless because I put one under my head. But I do have a tendency to sleep splayed weird. Like I'll sleep like this and then wake up and my arm's hurting me. Sup, everybody, this is Carrick with ACG, and I'm here with Johnny for the Best Gaming Podcast number 591. We're going to be talking about, well, actually some big news that's popped in the last last day or so, right? Last day was Bungie. There's Bungie. Yep. There's State of Play. There's Xbox, for some reason, asking everybody how to lead them, which is already making me nervous. Dude, sorry. Let me, do you seriously think a survey to fans should run a company? Like when they ask, what do you guys want from Xbox?
Terrible
idea. Good games. Yeah. Good games, and hopefully those games do well. That's because they're not always going to do well. A good game's not always going to do well. But I don't want to, because it's weird. It's like if you ask, okay, so you either need us to tell you, which is you're incompetent as shit, or it's fake. I mean, because the people you're talking to are on Twitter and stuff. Like that's not the majority of people that you sell to.
My hope is that it's fake. Twitter. That's like performative.
Performative.
Like those glint surveys, like, we heard you.
Yep. Or like a self eval or like a leader eval.
Right.
Where you're like, we know where this is going.
Because we don't know what we want.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we like to think we do, but then, we don't know.
And I don't want to run a multi-billion
We're not
dollar
directors.
Company. If I did, you know what?
Exactly.
You know what would happen? I'd fucking go to work for a multinational corporation and try to run it. Yeah, dude,
Right.
it's weird. It's weird. Not to diss on them. Hey,
Yeah.
it's cool. People, I mean, I'll tell you what, the stuff that I've been seeing all the time from them definitely doesn't put more confidence in it. So far, I haven't seen a single thing that's made me more confident, but I haven't seen a single thing that's made me less confident. What I've seen is a company doing the same thing that's happened for the last 150 years, which is when a CEO takes over, they just sort of, they're adjusting things, they're doing their own stuff, and pretty much nothing you see right there is the way it's going to be, in the future. You're being asked about your camera. I don't know what he's talking about.
Trying a new lens out.
It's just a lens.
Yeah, people tell us in the comments, is it terrible? Is it better? Yeah,
I mean, dude, it's identical. It's
We're
literally identical. It's wider, but I mean, it's identical. It's not like, what if you did turn it on though, and you find
You're
out
breaking my heart, dude. I spent an hour testing this and putting it at it's a new angle.
Dude, do you know what you should want from technical stuff on a stream for it to not be worse?
Okay.
Because yours is pretty high level. So the fact that I'm not saying it's worse is...
I'll take that then. Yeah.
It's literally the same picture. It's just a little wider. That's what you would want, right?
You know that meme from The Office? It's the same picture.
Oh, yeah. That's one
They're
meme
the same picture.
That's the one meme I do know from The Office. Yeah, it looks identical. I'm not going to glaze you up, dude. I'm not, that's...
All right.
That, you know me, man. That's not me. Let other people glaze you up, man. Let you glaze them up. They can glaze you up. Whatever happens behind closed doors, it's fine.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, we do have some really good. We got some good overall stuff to talk about. I think the most
on that point, real quick.
Yeah.
Because you touched on nothing's changed on Xbox, but actually the response has been overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
From I've seen so many videos from all the usual YouTubers,
Yeah.
The response is, it is actually a glaze towards, the new leadership and everything they've been doing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm missing something, but it hasn't been that big. It's been smaller changes, it's the logo.
No, you're right.
We're focusing on games.
Yeah. Yeah. They've fooled people for sure. I mean, there's nobody who's doing a video.
It's a bit of a PR.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course
it's perception.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are doing videos because there's no big games coming out right now. Forza is already done. So it's like, do a video on what Xbox is saying. I mean, and let's be honest, for many people, Xbox fans, Xbox, PlayStation, podcasts, console war podcasts, this is what they need to stay relevant. So they're going to feed into it too. And then you might also just have, I think it's a little weird if you're above the age of 17. I don't think most people are true super console warriors. I think a lot of it's performative now. But yeah, no,
I think so.
I mean that kind of answer is normal, and that kind of response is normal. And you know it, and I know it. Just watch Rory take the piss out of people. He's like, humans are easily fooled. I mean, we are easily fooled. There's a reason why people go back to spouses who banged somebody else, because we are easily fooled.
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. We want to believe.
You do. You want to believe. Yeah, you want to believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I love that we've cultivated our audience.
Yeah.
Good one. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a good song, actually.
I can do. Okay,
dude,
sorry.
She can hit that. Just
yeah. The vibrato.
Yeah, and then her roboto. She does a lot of post processing, but I love. I mean, she's 100 years old, so a little bit of auto tune isn't gonna kill Cher. But
yeah,
you were saying
I was just gonna say. I love that we've cultivated our audience to know who Rory Sutherland is.
Oh, yeah.
In such a way that we can just say Rory for short, and everybody knows instantly.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I had some people leave. I don't know. That's not the right way to frame this. I had some people start watching our podcast who were watching another one that was doing a bunch of, the typical numbers thing. And when they contacted me, I was like, well, hey, man, I really appreciate it. Because I like to occasionally ask, what caused you to do it? And they're like, because I started to see some of the stuff you were talking about, which is just how easily fooled it is, or how the podcasts are just let's read numbers to appear like we know those numbers statistically. It's why whenever I'm reading numbers, I always try to look into the data, because you can screw some shit up pretty quickly by just reading a number and being 20% of all percentages are fake. And you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
But
sometimes you just read the title and it's deceiving, and then you say that as if that's the fact. But
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, we're gonna be fact based as we continue. Like, especially the last 3 or 4 years, I was just like, "Oh, right, I think it makes more sense." Especially as games get more expensive, we're gonna have to break things down even more. I saw some people saying they weren't getting Bond and weren't getting Lego because they were 70. Now, I don't know if 70 is a true breaking point for me. It means I save up an extra $10. Maybe I save for 1 week longer.
yeah,
But it is when you add 3 or 4 at $70. Now you've got another
yeah,
game you could have bought that you can't buy. You know what I mean? And then from that point on, it's
yep.
progressively. You're always progressively behind. So
And it's
yeah,
that psychology thing where the first digit is higher, so it
absolutely.
kind of makes you think differently about it.
Yep, absolutely. Let's talk about Bungie though. So Bungie announced yesterday they did a big thing. They're like, it's time to begin, which is weird timing because the day prior to that on the side podcast, I talked about some of the stuff I had heard, which was that there was going to be some big changes, and they happened the very next day. So here we are. We got them basically saying we're deciding to move forward, journey on from Destiny. They did meander around what they said. They said it's a new journey, but Destiny and the world of Destiny needs to live beyond Destiny 1 and 2. Which could mean, I've heard people for the last couple months be like, hey, do they sell the Destiny property to somebody like they sold Halo? They absolutely could.
Right.
Like, I
They
don't
could.
think people realize you could see them sell Sony and them just come together and be like, or you could see them leave like they've left every other company once the company figures out how bad they are. So, could be any.
Would you hate that if they decided to just kind of move that or sell that, pass that on?
I like Destiny, man. I like Destiny.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, the bones are great.
I'm teasing when I say, that I don't mean any of the workers. I mean their leadership obviously has had issues. So if they can figure out a way to have a Destiny game, there's been rumors of other, I'll just say, game types that aren't the shooter or aren't what we see as service game shooters. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'd be all for it. I'd be all. Dude, as long as they stay employed, number one, which I'm assuming Sony's going to absorb some. Sony's in pretty dire shape because of their service game situation where they had all their service games planned, and now they've got some planned, but some aren't. So, hey, if you need the Bungie staff to help you like they wanted originally, that would be great, too, to help some of these companies get their games done a little quicker or have their games be better. Not saying. Do you think
the consoles selling lower now is a big hit to their bottom line, or is that just kind of a side income compared to games and everything else?
Well, we'll talk about it during the state of play, but there's definitely some pretty big rumors about this state of play, and it seems like, you know how sometimes somebody will run 4 laps, and on that third lap, they sort of, that last maybe fourth of the lap and the third lap, they're a little slower, and then they burst it for the last lap. It does feel like Sony is bursting towards a GTA 6 launch.
Yeah.
And rumor is they got
saving a sprint.
Yeah, rumor is they got the publishing deal, like not the publishing deal, the PR deal, to basically say it's on our system. I don't think Microsoft would have even bid for it, because why?
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
Makes sense.
I have a feeling the state of play is going to have GTA in it, which
would be huge.
Yeah. Well, they've stated in their videos, this is on the PS5. This is running on a real PS5 dev kit, or real PS5 hardware a couple times. So it's like, I think at the bottom they said that one time. So you're like, they didn't say Xbox Series S or Series X. I would do the opposite. I would show them the lowest level. If it was me, I'd be like, you know how good GTA is going to motherfucking look? This is GTA on the Series S. Show them. Be like, this is on the lowest common denominator of all the next-gen systems right now. Look at that. That's how good this game is going to look. And then you show them the next ones. But yeah.
That shows confidence, yep.
Oh, dude, yeah, and they should be. But anyway, so Bungie, yeah, they stated this journey is going to continue forward, blah, blah, blah. And for some reason, you're being asked about your clothing now. I have no clue what's going on, but this is getting creepy as shit.
This is like some inside jokes where like people tell me I'm wearing the same shirt.
Is that the same face, Johnny? But back to games anyway. So yeah, so this is going on with them. I don't know what you think, but I'd love to see a Destiny 3. I would love to see a Destiny 3. And I hope what they meant was that they're working on coming up with some ideas, but then I was told when I was talking about it that there wasn't too many, and this was last week, that there wasn't really anything 3 being worked on. And now it seems like that rumor has been once again backed up by Jason, who said somewhat of the same thing, was that there's been a lot of game pitches, but none have caught on, and that there's some layoffs planned. And if that's true, that's even worse, right? That's because that means today, if they started working, you're talking 4 years from now, 5 years for a new Destiny, for Destiny 3. That's 5 years of making sure your company has no problems. 5 years of the industry's RAM situation. 5 years of consoles maybe not selling. You know what I mean? There's a lot there. What's up, Eternal? I'd prefer Bungie to do something less live service, more meeting. Yeah. I think a lot of people are thinking that. Like, what if you do a Bungie? Now, listen, bear with me when I say this. But imagine a Call of Duty without the multiplayer that was a Bungie Destiny. What I mean by that is just a campaign, almost Halo-like, but instead of doing the other things, all this other stuff, just being like, boom, here is Destiny, like in the Halo Call of Duty format, which is, your multiple levels, your maybe 8-hour, 10-hour campaign with a story that's meaty, not stolen from another author, that's like real, that's yours, and you reset. I don't know if Bungie and Destiny can reset, though, because I don't know if the fiction, it's almost like those worlds where the hero is so big that any other hero is a loser, And we're sort of stuck with that. So.
I want to, the optimist in me wants to believe that people like a comeback story.
Yeah.
And that it would be, people would buy into that if they said, you know what, we know we messed up in like here and there, and we've learned from that, we're going for a fresh start, here's the approach, here's the idea, Destiny 3, and it's brand new. Maybe it doesn't even connect with the story or whatever, it's just like a new thing.
Yeah. Anti-Sky SEK 27. What did we figure out SEK was that Thai?
That is Swedish bucks.
Swedish bucks. Swedish bucks. Thanks for the 27 Swedish
official
bucks. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Official Swedish bucks coming in. Yeah, man. It's about time. I think everybody thought this was sort of the thing, right? That they were probably, that not much seemed to be going on. So, what about
Bloomberg
the layoffs,
mentioned.
though, dude? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Because, just saying, Bloomberg reported Bungie was planning on significant layoffs.
Yeah.
At the studio there. We don't know what that's going to mean, or if, like you said, maybe some of it will be absorbed by Sony. So, like, it looks like a layoff from Bungie's standpoint, but maybe it's people moving into
let's hope
other studios.
Yeah. Let's
maybe
hope.
that I'm hoping that could be the case. But yeah, it sucks to see. It makes sense, though, right? I mean, they're ending that project. Even if they're starting a new one, makes sense. They perhaps can't operate with the full footprint they had before.
Maybe they also shrink up, but put some people on Marathon and try to, because Marathon definitely, it's a game.
Could use some people there.
But it could use some people there, to get output at a higher level and to get a reason for people to stick with it when right now service games are tough. Tough
stuff.
It's possible they'll become a support. Yeah, support would be, but I have not heard support. What I did hear, and it is now it's continually being backed up, is that it's not support. It's movement and some stuff to do with pushing new games, as well as possibly some smaller Destiny stuff. Craig Hawk, 10 pound super chat. Happy weekend, everybody. Yeah, dude, isn't it awesome? It's the weekend. I was talking to Johnny about this prior, man. Like, lately, weeks have been going fast. This one was
Yes.
This one was weird. This one was bumpy. This was a bumpy week. Not in a bad way. Well, yeah, sort of a bad way, man. Like, just, I don't know. It's been a weird one. Like, almost every game's leaked. Bond leaked onto store shelves last night, so people were playing Bond. I believe you can only play the first level before it needs to download, but the physical disc is out there. And then Lego leaked, and then what was the other one that leaked? No, not Forza. There was another one that leaked. It was like a bunch of games are leaking, which makes content creation a little bit more difficult. It's been a odd one, man. Oh, and then did you hear about Valorant? Did you hear the news about Valorant? Let me make sure this is Valorant, dude. Pretty crazy news. Give me 1 second. So this came in on the gaming games. Okay. Thankfully, I didn't open the show with this, but basically the original story this morning is Valorant's new Vanguard update seems to be bricking cheaters' PCs. Riot's response was, "Congrats on your $6,000 paperweights," which I thought was awesome.
Wow.
So the thing, here's what people are saying. Here's the sort of the update. Vanguard isn't bricking PCs. There's a $6,000 DMA card that cheaters are using to try to get around it. Yes, and this person says, yes, cheating has gotten to the point where cheaters are buying hardware that costs thousands of dollars.
That's crazy.
What's happening is a built-in Windows security feature is being triggered, which prevents the device from being used for cheating. Any instances of PCs bricking seems to be caused by Windows and the card having issues as that talking goes back and forth.
Yeah.
And the $6,000 paperweight line is actually them, Valorant's devs, stating your $6,000 DMA card is now bad, and good luck on your paperweight. So they
it's not like
on gamers, PCs
an average homie.
It's not
just trying to have a good time.
Yeah,
and boom, your PC's gone.
I'm glad they cleared that up, because I was like, hey, listen, I love the idea of smashing somebody. But I don't like the idea of smashing somebody's PC.
No, and let's be honest, Vanguard has a lot of issues. People get blue screens. It boots with your computer in such a way that
it's a full root. It's a root.
It's full root. Like if in the middle of a game, let's say it crashes, the only way to bring it back up is to restart your PC. Like, that thing is like an alien directly inserted into your system.
Did you see also?
But it works. Yeah,
dude. People are turning their hypervisor off in Windows to run some of these hacked games too. And I'm like, in this day and age, when a script kiddie who is also into video games can read that you're turning your hypervisor off and is just writing scripts consistently to attack stuff like that, like, of all the things in the world, $60, $120 you save is not going to be worth you losing your identity. Because let's say somebody gets into your system or something. Let's ignore ransomware, which is scary. Let's say just into your system. If your identity gets stolen, that's forever. Even if they fix it, it's literally, we have people in our Discord who have had their identity stolen, and it comes up 5 years later, 6 years later when they apply for stuff. It is a game changer when it comes to applying for homes, cars, proving who you are, blah, blah, blah. The idea of going in and just being like, I'm going to turn off the major system that's there for like Windows being not hacked is crazy, man. I don't know of any game that's worth that. Maybe an Advent Rising 2. Maybe for Advent Rising 2, I'd do it. Maybe.
It is crazy people are going to these lengths, like buying hardware of this cost to get around that. Yeah, and it might be like farming accounts and that type of stuff, because there's a huge market for selling accounts and
account names or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Valorant's DRM doesn't check that and go, this name was created on this hardware certificate. And then you can't, like, you were in
they
Toledo,
don't link
Oregon,
your account.
And now you're in Sweden, and so therefore it's no longer valid.
Yeah, interestingly enough, they don't do any of those checks. The only thing is the email link. So then you could just link it to a different email. They have some ways, right, to kind of find it and then find linked accounts and stuff. But Yeah.
Oh, somebody new. Yeah, Cult of the Lambini. Yeah, I love this thing.
Oh yeah, nice.
Creeps people out when you're walking around town with it, though. Like, I don't know. Is that your chakra, your third eye showing? I only have one third eye, and that's my brown eye. If you're seeing that one, you're a proctologist. Moving on from there, moving on from that gross sentence, let's discuss.
Yeah, great.
Let's discuss layoffs. So let's say they get laid off.
From proctology directly into,
or from other stuff
layoffs.
Directly into proctology, which have both are shit.
Yeah.
Pun intended. Okay,
it can
now
go.
We're moving on.
It can go either way. Yeah.
So if Bungie people do get laid off, I think those guys are going to get sucked up pretty quick. Definitely Sony, they're pretty open. So is Microsoft about taking people from their own internal dev lines when they get laid off. So that'll be good. If that happens, we don't want that to happen, obviously. And then what I would love to see is Sony at this. We'll go into the play event. We'll go into State of Play. I would love Sony to really show a lot of stuff, like this State of Play in particular is supposed to be 90 minutes. Now, the reason why I'm not super interested is their State of Plays, even if they do special events and all this stuff, are almost always shit. And it's difficult to not do it because you have a ton of events. They've got Steam events or the summer event that's coming up. They've got the Game Awards. Yeah. You have these other places where people are watching. But at the State of Play, I think Sony's low sales once they did that big they announced the Rise, they got all those sales and then the sales cratered to the lowest week ever. I think they need to show some stuff so that they can roll into next year through GTA of this year, be the number one console for GTA this year, right? And then roll into next year with some bangers. And I'm sorry, because I can't wait to play it, but Wolverine ain't a banger. It's not near what we're talking about.
As the big
no,
like,
it's
system
not what we're
seller.
talking about. No. They need new. Like they need to show something that it doesn't need to be like the end of the world, like it's a brand new type of game. I'm not saying that. I'm saying these are known entities already. They need like excitement to offset a $200 increase in your console with the same low power. Because dude, you have to make up the low sales back to your normal sales, and then you have to sell more at the higher price.
Yep, that's right. Yeah,
that's a hard dude. I've ran in companies like that where we raise the price, and people don't realize it's like it's not just that they raise the price. We have to keep the sales at least there or higher, and eat up the drop in sales when you raise the price. So you might have might go down by 200. You now can't just do 200 and get back to, you have to do, because that's why you raise the price in the first place. You have to go 200 and another 200. So it's like, it's very difficult to figure out what they would do. But I think they show Interstellar or whatever that game is with the bald protagonist, the chick, the Naughty Dog's new game.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Love to see that.
That could be the thing, because Naughty Dog has the name for it.
Yep.
You know?
And I feel like right now we're in space heaven. We're in sci-fi heaven. If I were them, I would hire the Exodus devs and the Expanse devs. Maybe not Expanse. That didn't land well. But the Exodus devs, and show a couple space games so that people sort of like see, because it's tangentially connected to Mass Effect love. You're seeing it all the time. Whenever anybody mentions Exodus, you see people mentioning fucking like
all
Mass
the time.
Effect. So like, why don't we just piggyback on that? Because superhero stuff, I'm sorry, it's great and it'll sell well, but it's not. I think
you said it well. It's like space is the flavor of the moment.
It seems to be,
and superheroes ain't it. They had a time where that was the peak, right? Like Avengers, Infinity Gems, whatever, Infinity Wars. Like that was the height of it. People were excited, and anything surrounding that was really big. Now it's kind of like, The Boys is cool, but then like, should I watch this new Marvel movie? That's kind of the level of excitement.
Yeah, it needs a little bit of rest, right? And and third party is probably not it unless it's space. I think that's a big thing. They might have somebody else show something, who knows? But remember, they're still showing on an old console now. Not old in the way that, like, I'm saying it's shit. I'm just saying there is no surprise with the console. There is no, that's not.
Yeah, there's no new version.
There's no new version.
Whatever.
There's no whatever. It's going to be, here's the thing. What do we do? Yeah. So,
and you think State of Play is going to be the best kind of place
I'm saying
to
I'm saying their State of Plays have been terrible, and they've done a great job of lowering people's expectations of the State of Play to the point of nothing. Dude, I saw the last State of Play, people who were in it, even in the chat, were like, I am literally here because there is nothing else going on right now.
Wasn't the last one pretty good, actually? Like, people were actually surprised that it didn't suck?
People are always surprised every single one. Somebody will always say it doesn't suck. But if you go and look at it, you're just like, was it slightly better than some of their terrible ones? Maybe.
Yeah.
But they're notoriously
I think it was decent. But
they're notoriously not good with their State of Plays. And this would be a great time when you're the only competitor. Microsoft has basically stated, guys, the next is what we're doing, and we're playing these things. But this also goes into the discussion of, Sony pulled their games off the PC, and now we finally have the confirmation that it was announced to the Sony employees. I know people were saying, oh, it's not happening. It's like, no, it was for sure happening. I mean, there was some information out there that was like, no, this is for sure happening. There were devs who were like, yeah, this is for sure happening. So we're now stuck with, I mean, you're sort of in a rock and a hard place, man, because you don't have a new system. You've got these games that aren't even out other than Soros that no one knows about. So there's no reason to buy the system. There's no reason to be excited that they've pulled something back. People are genuinely excited it was on PC. People who own it on console were excited. That's how excited people were that their games were on PC. But if Helix is true, and we've seen, I think Digital Foundry said this too. I think we all agree. I mean, you and I talked about this months ago, but it's like, it does feel like, in general, it's sort of shoring up your walls because you don't want your games being played on a consoles that's a competitor's. And the Helix, as of last January, when they talked about it, were like, yeah, it's going to play PC games. Now we're open to having Steam on there. So Sony looked at it and was like, yeah, we don't want to do that. Microsoft is doing very well for themselves selling games on Sony's console. So now Sony has a lot of the Microsoft stuff. Sony's got a dearth of games. They don't have anything. So this is the State of Play where it would be, you got to sell it. You can't sell it like you used to. It can't be your old price PlayStation State of Play. It has to be your new. How much has the PlayStation gone up in price? 150? In total? 100?
I actually don't know the number. I know it was around $100.
Yeah, so they were not nailing State of Plays when it was $100 cheaper or 150 or whatever it's up now. They need to nail it so that it's that new hotness that somebody doesn't say, well, I can spend $600 on a video card and play my PC. Yes. So yeah, man, I don't know. State of Play. Hopefully there's something. Space would be great.
Yeah, I'm loving this phase of like space games coming out. Love me some space.
Spanky Steve, $5 super chat. Thank you for the super chat. As you guys know, we don't do sponsorships, including Vessi shit shoes. So if you guys want to throw some, dude, I got a bunch of people responding to that.
You really hate those shoes, man.
I just hate sponsorship stuff. And I hate when people pretend.
Yeah.
You'll see somebody show up in their fucking combat boots and their Vans, and then the next day they lie to you and they're like, I haven't worn anything but Vessi in 6 months. And you see a podcast where they show their shoes 3 weeks prior and they've forgotten, and it's a pair of fucking Vans, or they have their feet up on the desk where they're talking during the stream and they're like, Vessi shoes, the only shoes I've worn. Fucking, I hate the lies, man. We're smarter than that. We're smarter than that. We're smarter than that. Spanky says, as someone who loves the 90s JDM era of cars, Forza Horizon 6 cannot come to PC or to PS5 sooner. Dude, it's selling well, too. Damn.
I can relate to that because I also like some of those 90s cars, like some Mazdas and like Nissans and stuff from that time. And they have so many great ones. And the way you kind of discover them when you're driving around and they're just parked there and you can buy them at a discount.
Yeah.
And you go like, woo, what a find, you know? It's great, man.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it's, you know, I think we're even asked about one of this. Brad says, the fact that you know Vessi, their ad was successful. I also know what Nazis are. Not super successful. Knowledge does
it's
not mean success at all. Like, at all.
It's like Pirates of the Caribbean. It's like, at least you heard of me. The pirate thing. Like, you're the worst pirate ever. But you did hear of
infamy, dude. That's one of the worst. Famous is an infamy, and if anybody tries to tell you it is, they're probably the
words are close,
latter.
But
yeah. Forza 6 is pretty good. I do miss adaptive triggers though. Man, I don't. I have them. I have the ability to play it on the PC with them, but I haven't turned a PlayStation controller on in a while, so I don't know what bonus I would get out of them. But regardless, you'll be able to do that in a couple months if you like adaptive triggers. Yeah, it's cool. Cool. People will be able to play it.
Have they announced the release date for PlayStation?
I thought they said 6 months. Maybe it's a year.
Okay.
Maybe it's a year. And dude, they sold a lot. I mean, I don't know how many, but apparently, at least in our groups, that LAN group I'm in, they sold a lot. They sold a lot of Series S consoles with me. Like, a lot of people I know are like, "Fuck it, it's a quarter the price of a video card. I'm just gonna play it on the Series S and just drive around and have a good time."
I can see that. Yeah.
Forza's a puller, man. Forza
it is.
There's something about it, that Horizon in particular, that does really well. So
yeah, for Microsoft, might be one of the biggest games they have, right?
Yep.
I know. Now they have Call of Duty under their belt, so that's probably
from them. But yeah, Call of Duty is now theirs. Yeah. So yeah, true.
Yeah,
true. Yeah, Forza Horizon in particular just is a fun. There's something about it that's just laid back, man. You know, it's not a sim. It's just, let's just sit back and drive around and have a good time. Get cars, collect them, customize them. They're not going super realistic. You know, it's always going to be more of the sit back and have fun kind of game, and it is a blast in that way. It
super
is
fun,
and it you know, it's got that shield of light, as I call it, where about 200 feet in front of you can see all the effects turning on.
Yeah, the AOE around you.
Yeah, dude, it is. It's like a paladin being like, you know,
it
shield.
Is. Yeah, yep.
That being said,
yeah,
fuck, man. That, you know,
it's
the game
great.
just is excellent. Yeah, it looks so good, man.
By the way, you dropped the word of the day back there. You said dearth, which initially I thought was girth, but dearth refers to the scarcity or lack of something.
Yeah,
I didn't know. So word of the day for me, good one.
Dearth. There we go.
Dearth.
Like, most gamers have a dearth of sexual partners, right? That's how you would use it.
Right.
Just easy.
Put it in a sentence. Yeah.
Dearth. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be one of their biggest titles of all time. And it's also a title that, because they do the seasons, and for most people, it's not considered the typical micro, even though it is for some people, or for many people, it doesn't seem to be egregious. So they seem to be genuinely happy with how it delivers content. And open world fun racing game. Drivatars are good. Driving around.
They legit have some of the best DLCs in games.
They do. Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah, they're very creative.
Yeah. I would say Assassin's Creed, obviously their DLCs are great. I would say Forza Horizon's DLCs are
Odyssey.
Are close. Yeah. Yeah.
Like Odyssey, Valhalla. Yeah, some crazy DLC action.
What else? Anything else about State of Play or Forza? Yeah, space stuff. Some new stuff would be great. I think a lot of it'll be GTA, but that would
be huge, man. if they can actually show that in their own show and start linking,
And they
like,
don't have to show very much.
No, not really. They could even show, if they can just say like, this is how you're gonna play GTA.
Yeah.
Or, you know, something to that effect, and just kind of link the concepts of GTA plus PS5 in everybody's
Rockstar
mind.
is not going to not release the trailer on their own channel. So just so everybody knows, if there was a trailer, I wouldn't be surprised if the trailer pops early.
They wouldn't like lose anything really by
No.
showing it.
Yeah, I would expect, if anything, they'd release a trailer and then release another one, or maybe do hey, here's how we're going to make this game look the best on this system, and do a developer insight kind of video too. I don't like those, because I don't think a state of play is when I want to hear a developer talk, but that doesn't mean anything. That's just me saying that. It doesn't mean it's the truth. It's insane what a delight Lego Batman is for fans, but they even put in some other references from pop culture, like Always Sunny in Philadelphia meme from Frank. Yeah, they did a really good job with that game, man. They did a great thing with that one. So, let's go through some of these questions real quick. Telegram, this is TJ Hookner. Carrot called it on Bungie last week, and then again this week. Is your contact Jason S? No, it is not. Just kidding, but keep up the awesome work in the sidecast. My question is this: how often do people with leaks sit on data and tell no one? And how do you handle that? I would say the majority of people sit on leaks. I would say the majority of people might use it for deciding what they're going to cover when that comes out, maybe plan accordingly. But I think many people who know stuff don't say anything because somebody tells them, I'm telling you, please don't say anything. And the amount of stuff that like is blathered out and about is pretty goddamn high. In fact, I would say the majority of stuff that you see leaked is very, very little in comparison to what is talked about, especially because 99% of the time when you guys finally see a leak, it's been talked about for like a week. Or there's been rumors, or you'll hear somebody will DM you and say, so-and-so's going to have news next week, you know, or this big thing is happening next week, or whatever, and they'll give you some data, and then you sit on it. I think sitting on it's best. You know, you don't always, I mean, some people, that's their entire shtick, is a leaker, and that's fine, but I don't really like leaks of that kind, and I don't like them affecting the company. I've affected 2 people that I know of, and that really burned me. Like, that was like, okay, I'm going to change it. Like, I get it. Like, caused them an issue or made them feel a certain way. And I was like, I'll never again. Like, I get it. Victor says, your Drivatar is a son of a bitch, Carrick. Oh, in Horizon. Also, what LLM front end do you use? For front ends, I use Jan or Witsy or LM Studio, and now I have my own that I've made. But those are the ones. Any of those are pretty newbie friendly.
Just casually dropping that. You made your own model.
Oh, yeah. Campost, about 3 years ago, Carrick told a story about a high school teacher, something about how much impact he or she had had. Sorry, I don't remember the rest, but if you do, Carrick, can you tell the story again?
I hope it's not an American Pie situation.
I'm thinking he means Mr.
Hot for teacher.
I'm thinking he means Mr. Ford, who was my programming teacher. Because Mr. Ford was the one that I programmed, and I cheated by memorizing everything and not doing variables, but making it appear like it. And he's like, this is the best, worst program I've ever seen. He's like, if you put as much effort into doing what I had asked, you would have done really well. It was probably Mr. Ford. He was a really hard-ass guy, but he was probably one of the best teachers I had. And he rode me hard because he knew my brother, who he rode hard.
That does sound wrong.
Sound wrong, but he did.
We did go American Pie.
He did.
In the end.
Yeah, he rode me hard. It's what I could. Yeah. Carrick says that.
Funny enough,
40 minutes
the
in.
one teacher I still remember to this day was a programming teacher as well. My
really?
first programming teacher.
Why do you remember him?
He taught me C, And he had an incredible way to teach and get people excited about something that's not that exciting, like programming. I mean, you can be into it, but it's not like.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And he was just like getting you excited about the ideas and stuff. Yeah.
That's very cool. I had two.
Yeah.
One was terrible. Mr. Beckham, love you, man. Love you. By the way, said Mr.
He had a crack.
I said he had passed away and found out just a couple weeks ago he had not. He was one of those guys that over time, I think I read some that appeared like he did. Great teacher, but he taught like this. And he also taught math. And it was the worst experience I've ever had. But he was knowledgeable as shit. And he was a good teacher. And he let me get away with stuff because I was mouthy as shit. And he, maybe he didn't get the jokes. But I would always joke and always be mouthy during class, and he didn't kick me out. Which admittedly,
is it one of those where you zone out because he's pretty slow, and then when you come back to it, you see like there's a whole board full of shit you don't understand? Like, how did we go from where we were?
I would go home with a problem, and I would just look at it and go, I don't even know what the first symbol is, man. I need to go to basic math again or something. Like, I don't get it. And I did end up switching out of that class. It was just too much for me. I was like, math to a certain degree was great, but once you get into like definitely functions and formulas, I was like, my brain, I don't even know. And what's weird is I'm pretty mathematical in the sense of if you do this first, like do this before this in a formula. That should have worked for me. But for whatever reason, at that age, that wasn't working for me. It just sucked. Master Paz says, we all know, this is Master Paz, he says, we all know about Johnny's glorious life-sized, anatomically correct Tifa statue. I don't know where this is going. Do we know?
Oh my God.
Do we know about this? Okay. But what other epic game-related merchandise do you guys wish you had or have?
I don't know if there is one. If anything, I've kind of come to regret the ones that I do have. I have a couple of like statuettes, and they're great. Don't get me wrong. I have the Sekiro one and the Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII. They're great, but I just look at them like every so often.
Yeah,
it's really not like the greatest investment I've made. And if anything, I would rather have like a Lego set on the shelf instead, or something like that. I just don't think it's that cool anymore.
Mine are probably Lego anyway. I got the long,
Lego are great
from Horizon Zero Dawn with the LED.
That's such a good one.
Yeah, that's great. This is Max. He says, I just picked up some Assassin's Creed books. Honestly, had no idea they even existed. Since you all enjoy reading as much, what other games do you think deserve a good read? Well, I'll tell you what, I've read every Assassin's Creed one. We talk about it a lot in the podcast. I think the Far Cry 5 prequel is probably one of the best because when you play Far Cry 5, if you've read the book, they do an insanely good job merging them together. Watch Dogs, a lot of these are Ubisoft. Watch Dogs novels are really good. Trying to think of any other. Halo. The Halo novels were great. The first 3 in particular were really good.
Okay.
They were basically just the game. Yeah, they were just the game, really. I mean, even said stuff that is said in the game, but it just gave you a little narrative flavor. That's were good.
Cool. The Witcher is a good one, right? Because you play Witcher 3 any of the other games. And then a lot of the stories are either from the books or adjacent. So you get a lot more color if you read the books as well.
Yeah.
About the whole thing with the genie, they had this compulsion between Geralt and Yen. And it was this kind of genie pact they had. And a very big part of that was, is our love real? Or are we just being kind of pulled towards each other because of that? And they had a mission towards the end where they explained that. But if you kind of already understood that as you played the game, I felt like it did give everything an additional layer to how you perceive it,
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Also, the next question, since you've got me hooked on the show I'd love to hear your thoughts and theories. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think that that's fair. I think we'll hold off on theory stuff because the show's still going. and it's
Still
literally
going.
just had a new one. Let's be honest, not all leaks are legitimate leaks. Some are definitely intentional to grab attention. Yeah, in the history of doing this, I can tell you that there has never been a single time where anything appeared to be intentional. And every time I ask anybody if something's intentional, I'm always pointed directly to the PR stating, can you imagine how fucked up everybody would be if we intentionally leaked something and it didn't work? It would be a disaster. So, of unbelievable, unmitigated proportions. And that's people who've left the industry as well as people who are still in it. I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but even talking to some of the biggest leakers that you guys see, even when we were talking about OD from what's his name prior, when I thought it was going to be Metal Gear because they were doing the remake of Metal Gear at the same time. And I got that. Those two, my wires crossed on those. Even those people that I talked to were like, no. I mean, it's an entire PR department. You would have to like figure out a way. You either lie to them, and then who are you going to leak it to? Like, how are you going to leak it? And if you leak it to somebody, that person is under your employ as a PR representative now. Like, they're quite by the way, I don't know if you saw this. Speaking of how this is all true, did you see that that Kick streamers can buy retweets and reclips? Did you see this whole hullabaloo by Sasha Grey?
Nope.
So Sasha Grey
wow.
talked about it. She's the first one I saw, but she was following this other PR guy, and he's like, Kick has this system that when you stream on Kick, you can literally just pay, and people who have a bunch of accounts will reclip your stuff. And he was doing some of the numbers in the hundreds of thousands of dollars some Kick streamers are paying, and they're getting millions of views. And people were like, well, that's just sort of PR. And all of a sudden, one of the people who was looking at it was like, if that's PR, then every single one of those reclips has to say this is sponsored because of the United States. And now there's this massive like backlash where people are like, did like 100,000 people break the law of federal law here? Because that is what it would be. And that would be the same thing for if you were trying to spread. Yeah, thank you. It was Devin. Well, Devin was one of the ones who said it. I was told by somebody else that it was going on, but I didn't think it was as big. Devin Nash is the guy who blew it out of the water. And the numbers he was showing. And then he went back and tracked a couple Twitch/Kick streamers who were admitting on camera. And it was unbelievable amounts of money. But it also has a return. Because you get subscribers, and then one person might be a patron, views, that kind of stuff. So I experienced somebody trying to do Kick advertisements in the Kind of Funny Discord. Let's see. Ralphinator, what are some of your guys' favorite games with very good side quests that don't feel like a chore? First thing that comes to mind is GTA 4. For me, absolutely, hands down, Witcher 3, best side quest in a game. I said this when I did the Walk in the Walk. Absolutely best side quests. It's the meat of the game is the side quests. It's like
it's so funny, right? That's
dude.
what we remember.
Yep. I think that I think that's the way it should work. When you have a protagonist written from novels, there's some control that some things you don't want to do, where you make it so that person, you can be them but not impact the entire world with your main quest, even though he is. But you have this side quest where you impact the world in smaller ways that don't rub up against the IP poorly or whatever. I think Witcher 3 nailed it by far. Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Some of the most hilarious side quests known to man are in Odyssey in particular. So, yeah.
Very fun. And with some historical characters like Socrates, you're hanging out with Socrates, and it's
so
great.
Yeah, it's so great.
What about King... Sorry, go on.
No.
I was going to ask you something else.
Go for it.
If Kingdom Come 2 is up there with side quests, would you put it up there at a similar level? Because I didn't get to play it, so I'm curious, like, how you remember it.
That is a good question. I think some of them are really good, but because it's not a fanciful game, it's not a fantasy game, it's still rooted in real life. And sometimes you're just like, sometimes it didn't grab me as well as if it's like the Bloody Baron or something like that. Or Socrates, or seeing somebody get eaten by a shark in Odyssey or something. These side things, or Syndicate, where you see, and weirdly enough, a lot of these are AC games, but they do a good job. They have a lot of side quests too. So I mean,
they do
just by sheer number, they're going to be higher. I don't know. That's a good question, man. I mean, there were some that were great. Banging that chick and then going back to basically apologize or sort of say, I do you want to hang out? And she's like, you weren't as good as all the other guys, and you thought she was chaste and stuff. Was like, that was funny. That was great. That was handled so well. Yakuza is up there. Yakuza's got some great ones. Let's see. What's your favorite energy drinks? This is from Super Chat. Thank you very much. $5 Machine XP. What's your favorite go-to drink that energizes you? Tea, right? You just drink tea.
Coffee, if it's allowed. Yeah, for sure. Coffee. I've drank at least one coffee for the past. It's years. I don't remember a day in the last over 5 years.
Really?
So I always have a coffee. It's part of my morning routine. I love it. I try not to have more than two. Two is my cap. Some days I just have one, but I do always have a coffee.
I think the only problem with coffee and energy drinks is their half-life is so long. Like a lot of drugs out there that you can get legally, like even nicotine or whatever, their half-life is so much shorter. Caffeine's half-life is fucking forever, man. So
it's many hours.
It's many hours. And by the way, that's the half-life. Like that doesn't mean it's even out of your system. So if you're drinking something at 1 p.m., that will affect or can affect your sleep at 8. Like that's pretty crazy when you think about it. Like that's worse than ephedra. That's worse than like half of the drugs people talk about, like an energy drug that like a weightlifter would take. It's like, dude, caffeine is just, it sticks, man. It's a sticky drug. It sticks for a long time. And you become accustomed to it pretty quick. I feel like with caffeine, the receptors get dumb pretty quick.
Yeah, it becomes your baseline.
Yeah.
I don't really get a kick from it anymore.
You don't? I get a kick from it. Maybe not even
from that one coffee.
Out, I would say even from like a pop. I mean, any kind of soda is really low, but like even a Monster, which really isn't as high as people worry about. It's not like a 4-hour energy. Well, actually, I think they're the same. 4-hour energy is only that big. But yeah, they're not,
Funny enough, I do like the flavor of Red Bull a lot. I just don't like it as I just probably don't think it's healthy. So I don't drink it very much, but I do like the flavor of it. And there's something about the presentation in the thin can that I absolutely love. And I know that Rory talks about this. It is a perception. Yeah.
Well, I like Mountain Dew, and a lot of people don't like that. I like Squirt. A lot of people don't like that.
Wait, is it called Squirt?
Yeah, terrible name. Super popular drink. Super popular drink. But weirdly enough, super terrible name.
Yeah.
I mean, Mountain Dew is pretty terrible too. Like, what does that even mean? Dew sounds, I don't know. Old man piss. Let's see. Spock says, not a question, just wanted to drop a note. I've been missing the live podcast lately because of the extreme time zone difference. You start at 4:30 a.m. Sydney time, but I always catch up in the following week. Happy to be a part of the Discord. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, appreciate it. Always have really good comments. Our Discord's been banging it lately, too. We've been having, man, it's the amount of people streaming in the Discord has been insane. It's taken a while, but now it's been it's been really fun. You go and you never know what people are going to be streaming.
What's been the most played? Like, what's everybody playing? Like, the most common thing?
You would think that, right? I think Dragon's Dogma 2 was probably the last time the majority of people were doing one game. Now it is like 6 people are doing Forza,
that was huge back then.
4 are doing shooters, 3 are it has been
there's so many games now.
Yeah.
Like this time frame is very tricky.
Well, not only that, but
Lego Batman,
a bunch of us are doing fucking what do you call it? Division 2, so it's not even a new game. You know, it's just.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
Sometimes it'll be quiet as shit, man. I went in there one time. There was about 16 of us, and I went in, and there was about 8 streams and 8 people watching. Many people just muted, and you'd ask a question, you'd hear the unmute button, and I'd be like, "Dude, what are you doing?" "I'm at work. You know, I just watch. I come in here to hear you guys talk. Blah blah blah." And then other days, you're all yelling over the top of each other because everybody's excited about some movie or some random comic book discussion. It's fucking awesome. It gets better every single month, I swear to God. That's not me. Don't join the Discord. Don't. Because we want to keep it to ourselves. It's not me pimping the Discord. It's that it actually is that. It is insanely cool because real life people are so hard to get together. And so it is great to be like, hey, everybody, let's jump in. And you have like,
yeah.
And I've heard people be like, oh, is it too busy? And I'm like, you would think that could be a thing, but instead it's just a bunch of people having a fucking good time. Dude, we've had one argument in the past, and I was there, and it was a drunk person who just happened to have a weird vibe with everybody, and it was hilarious. And it became a joke. Nobody was arguing, I should say that. It was just, you could hear the befuddlement, I'll say that, in the chat, where there were some befuddled people going like, what is this person talking about? Like, what are they doing? And
what are they on about?
And yeah, it was awesome. It's $5.
I appreciate
our level's the $5 level for ours. What
yeah,
were you saying?
$5, and you get it with the YouTube membership too.
Oh yeah, you get it with YouTube.
Another option.
I always forget that.
I was gonna say I appreciate as well, like
fucking awesome. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, no, it is an easy way because sometimes people don't want to go to a different platform, right?
Yeah,
or they don't like Patreon. So it's pretty
absolutely
low effort, on YouTube. I was just gonna say I appreciate sometimes as well where it's people are just playing their games and they are just kind of hanging out. They're not necessarily talking, but we're all in there. We're sharing screen. We're looking at each other's games, and when something comes up, we'll comment on it. And sometimes people are just chilling. It's nice too. You don't feel the need like you always need to carry a conversation.
Yeah. As someone this is Oregon Fresh. Is someone not in there anymore because I'm just busy? The Discord is freaking awesome. All the peeps are good peeps. Mucho fun. Yeah, we do notice you're not there, but you've definitely talked about being busy. It's always fun having you in there. Yeah, we got a guy who knows everything about War Thunder, and I love this guy. I want to make sure it's well known. Eddie Vault is his name. Love him. I got to admit though, when he first talked, he sounded like maybe a South California surfer. He's got that kind of like, got a lot of vocal fry, very, just very laid back. And then I asked him about what he was playing. And it was War Thunder. And that dude, it was the most shocking 2 hours of my life. Not only he knew everything about every weapon the U.S. military had, he also then admitted he's doing his doctorate in AI and AI machine learning for robotics. And he started talking about stuff. And I was just sitting there going dude, imagine if you heard a Cockney accent start talking about science, right? You'd be like, it doesn't match up, right? Sometimes accents don't match what the person's saying just because you haven't heard it very often. That's how, I mean, everybody sat there for a full fucking 2 hours listening to this guy just going whoa, that's not what I expected, man. It was so great, man. It was so, it's like Johnny Utah from Point Break trying to explain to you, in-depth mathematics and robots. And we were just like, what the fuck is even happening right now? This is so many levels of not expected. Moving on from there, though. Welcome to the supporter Discord Access Machine XP. By the way, there's entry steps you have to take, but you just basically merge your account and then you can jump in. Let's move on from there. Scotty's on Fire on Twitter says, can you guys talk a little bit about boomer shooters? Don't forget to talk about any hidden gems you know of. No, patrons not preferred. Anything works. YouTube's probably easiest for people, to be honest. What do we got for boomer shooters? Now, boomer shooter can mean booming, big explosions, fast, running around, Duke Nukem. It can mean boomer, like they were popular when boomers were popular, which that would be a very select series of games. Depends on which slang we're using now. But your Dooms. I think Doom Dark Ages is fantastic. I think Doom Dark Ages is one of my favorites in the last couple of years. When you are able, that was a huge surprise for me.
It was very good. I'm trying to think if boomer shooter needs to be like old graphics. The games that are like catering to the old.
No, it can be Doom Dark Ages.
Like original Doom.
Painkiller. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's bigger.
Unreal.
Bigger than
Quake.
Okay.
There's a lot of.
I mean, recently the Mickey Mouse game. It's not Mickey Mouse.
PI Investigator.
But, PI.
PI Mouse.
That looked good.
PI Mouse Investigator.
And I think that is considered a boomer shooter. It fits really neatly into that. It looked great. Played great. Cool idea. Maybe not something I would play right now, but I do like what they did with that.
Yeah, that's cool
for sure.
Yeah, a lot of good ones. I would say a lot of them are in the PI Mouse Investigator level. They're not, Doom is your big one, right? Doom's like the big one that people talk about, but there's like 70, 80 that come out every other month from smaller groups. There's even the Warhammer one with the female Space Marine lead. I think they're getting a sequel. That's definitely a boomer shooter. So,
I like the music ones as well. The ones where you have to shoot to the music. Like Metal Hellsinger was a really good one. They had like some big bands working with them for that. Some of those are pretty good too.
Okay, that's good.
If you can, if you find a good rhythm.
Question: with Bungie basically putting Destiny 2 into maintenance mode now, do you guys think this is the beginning of the end for the forever game era? Or are players just finally exhausted from treating hobbies like second jobs? I don't think it's the end, but I think that everybody's seen that the competition, there's too much competition in too small of a space because those games aren't purchase and leave on your shelf. They're purchase and be forced to play because it may die. There is a huge difference in a live service game and its purchase and its play, and the desire to play it while it's either popular or not shut down or still in the same format and shape. It feels different when you buy one than it does when you buy Halo. It just does. And I think that genre is big, but I think when you look at the millions of people playing games, if you have two shooters that are live service, that is an actual issue. Because they both require usually expertise and length, and you'd call it grind. I don't necessarily think they're all grindy, but you just run out of time, right? It doesn't sit in your Steam library, because it could go away, at least right now, until we figure out what devs are doing for live service games.
Yeah. So there's kind of a big line where a game becomes a forever online, like Warframe. WoW, all these games that are now here to stay, and we know that. But there's a line somewhere. It's not clear. Maybe, is it a year? If the game is still doing well after a year, maybe you start thinking, this is here to stay.
Johnny, I think a lot of devs are very confused also in the fact of most games require sequels if they continue to do well in the original, and live service games
tough too.
Are opposite that. So imagine how weird it is to be, let's say you're doing Division. You're doing Division, and then suddenly you're like, oh, our engine, we can do some stuff in Division. Do we do Division 2? Or do we stay in Division 1? They did Division 2, but look at how long Division 2's lasted. And even they've stated, well, every time we think about fully going into Division 3, we're sort of stuck in Division. We're still stuck in Division 2. And the idea of how do you move forward? How do you move into something? Like, it's not the same as if you have a really good single-player game or even a good multiplayer, but it's got a single-player component, you think of a sequel. Titanfall 1, let's do Titanfall 2. But if Titanfall 1 had been online service game, that company would have had to decide, do we kill it? And by the way, look no further than GTA 5 to see what I'm talking about, because GTA 5 is going to have a huge hassle on their hands trying to figure out.
Yeah, they are on the same rut.
They have a very
few
issue.
games have done this successfully. By the way, like Overwatch 2 did manage to pull it off, where Overwatch 2 pretty much is, you know, everybody from Overwatch jumped over, and that worked.
And didn't they force them to, though? Didn't Overwatch have all the weird stuff where they forced them? So did they jump or were they pushed? Right?
I mean, they were pushed, but
they jumped
it worked in the end.
Yeah. It's like when you push somebody and somebody leaps off into the water after they were pushed.
Or like if in hindsight, they are happy for having being pushed, kind of, when they think back.
I think I am on some games. I am sometimes when you just cut it clean, you cut the cord and you move on, it can feel good. It's like cleaning your house, you know? Question. If GTA 6 really hits in November, what's the one tiny everyday detail you hope Rockstar nails that would make the world feel next level alive? That's a good question. So
it is.
5 did a lot. What though, what in 6 would be something that like, oh, I know. More animals, like people walking dogs in the street.
Or like maybe you can have different pets.
Pets. I think that is something you see in every city and we don't see, and it can feel weird. Children, more children in the game. Now, admittedly, this causes all
children
kinds of
are
issues.
tough to do in those games.
You know what's funny is that we are so warped as a society, as a world, that we're like, oh, it's okay to shoot the guy who's 21, but I don't want to shoot the person who's
not the kid
younger. And you're like, I get it. I do get it. I understand. But it's like at the same time with games, it is weird that, you can drive over a bunch of people in your Corvette and nobody bats an eye. But if that was some other place, you're like, oh my God, this is now unacceptable. It's
we have weird lines.
Yeah.
Even like stuff where very explicit violence is okay in a show or in a game, but sexuality isn't.
Yeah.
Especially like in kind of like Western context.
Yeah.
Maybe not European, but if you have like a nipple, that's unacceptable, right? Has to be covered.
Though it does seem like both European and American and other nations have sort of gone away out of that in the last 10 years. I think Spartacus started a great deal of it, even though that wasn't
I think so. HBO, right?
NYPD Blue showed a butt crack of a guy and people were beside themselves, and now you got Euphoria.
Oh, wow.
And Euphoria is showing
Euphoria, yeah.
Even though those are paid, they're still available in that box or on your PC, with the streaming service. It's easier to get to than, say, Skinamax used to be or something like that. So, yeah, lots of different things when it comes to that. But let's see. Moving on from there, we got more questions. I'm going to get through these fast. Are licensed games becoming exciting again now that studios seem more interested in making real games instead of quick tie-ins? This is based on Lego, and they put another game in there, and damn it. Oh, Bond.
Mm-hmm.
So are licensed games becoming exciting again? Pretty sure they were always exciting. They just weren't always good.
Yeah, I think that was the problem. Traditionally, games from a movie or something were just bad. And then we had that association. And that's kind of been breaking over the years. It's been better and better.
Yeah. Next up, how many failed multiplayer projects does Sony need before they realize people bought PlayStation for big single-player games and not another hero shooter that dies in 6 months? That's pretty negative. I mean, they're realizing it now. We'll just leave it at that. I think so.
Do you think that is a change they will make? They will be willing to just cut the multiplayer pipeline and focus back on single player?
I think Concord and Arcane's the Redfall, I think both those showed that these companies are okay with snipping the cord and just saying it didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
And
I mean, some multiplayer stuff worked. Sorry, go on.
Many things do, but when something doesn't work and you lose 200 million and you just say it didn't work, that is a massive signal to everybody and all the other developers going, okay, maybe that's not what we should be doing now. I think a lot of developers want to make smaller stuff too, or stuff that comes out more quickly. Josh Sawyer for Obsidian did Pentiment. I think those kind of games where you may get a company that's like, hey, we have this big company, but what if we have 5 games that cost the cost of one game, but one of those games does well, really well, that could actually easily offset all of the other games. Look at some of the sales on some of these games. We're talking 3 million, 4 million, 5 million for a $40 game. That not only pays for that game by a great amount, it pays for development in the future, even though Peter doesn't always, rob Paul to pay Susan kind of thing. You can still say, right, hey, maybe we should be an incubator versus. And by the way, Embracer didn't have a terrible idea. They did it terribly, and they had the biggest failure in all of gaming with the Saudi group not investing in them. But their idea, which is that, like Darksiders Genesis, we're going to make smaller games that are pretty good. And it worked for a couple of their games. It's just it was an investor who owned it. And that was your problem. You don't want investors running your company because an investor has to sell to make money. So they grow it as big as possible to sell it to make money. You sort of want a Sony, a Nintendo, yes, even a Microsoft who wants to stay there. Dude,
they want the long-term returns.
Can we agree on one thing, despite people hating all these companies? Can we agree on one thing? If there was any company in the world who shows that they do want to be somewhere, it is Microsoft, because they could have left a long time ago. There's multiple times they've had failures, and they're still there. So they see that there's a future there, and you got to, regardless of anything else.
They could have pulled out.
They could have pulled out
gaming,
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Of gaming. I like how you added that.
Ha! Yeah.
Another question. Has anybody stopped buying giant open world games because just seeing a 120-hour map checklist now feels mentally exhausting? No.
I mean, no.
Not me.
I think it can feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But it's more granular than that. It's not that it feels that way because of that design. It's because the game maybe wasn't good or didn't speak to you. I think that's strictly it. The same when we talk about hub worlds, it's like, is it a good game? Does that format enhance the game? Does it work to elevate the game? And then the times where it does, we feel like, yeah, that feels good. That feels right. And we've had, really good, super big open world games, both recently and prior times.
Oregon said something. I think Crimson Desert shows, nope, we're not tired. Yeah, that's a good example. Crimson Desert, I would say the majority of people I know, probably 99.9% haven't beat it, haven't even come close, and still got 40, 60, 80 hours.
Like,
they could have beat it in that amount of time, and they chose not to because they were just having a good time playing a game. I mean, I know this is anti what everybody believes, but I think the gamification and the achievements have ruined a great deal of the way people think of games. It is absolutely unnatural. Imagine playing Monopoly. Most people don't play Monopoly to own every single land. They play Monopoly to own a certain amount and invest in those amounts. But if you start playing it with the idea that I need to own every single thing, that's a different style of game, and it becomes a little monotonous. And I think when you jump into an open world game, if you see a bunch of icons, and I hate those, I see the map mess, but it doesn't mean I have to do them. It does at all. And in fact, why would I? How many times is there a restaurant out there, Johnny, that you know of? Be honest. Is there a restaurant out there that every single food in the restaurant, every single dish is one you like? No.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I don't need to check the box of like
that I've had their
coleslaw.
Sushi,
I don't know.
Cream. I've had their shrimp sandwich.
I don't need to check that box.
Dude, yeah. It's like I told you a couple weeks ago. Nobody has 2 favorite Chinese food restaurants, man. Like, you don't need that kind of stuff. If you remove the gamification.
Some people have that drive. Like, maybe it's a compulsion or like, I need to complete stuff. That's more of a personal thing. And maybe that comes with its own reward when you do it. You get a kick out of it. That's also a positive in a way that maybe you and I don't get. So it's kind of balanced in that way. But yeah, I would say, and even just the idea of having to finish a game to warrant the purchase, I don't believe in that. Because I really think if you spent your time there, you had a great time, even if you didn't finish it for whatever reason, that doesn't detract from the experience you had. And that's just another arbitrary check mark. Did you finish it or not? That doesn't really, I mean, it can be great. Other times it's really not that memorable. So I don't think
Harry Potter
finishing
is
a game,
a good example.
Right.
I played hours
exactly.
of Harry Potter.
It
I don't even
was
know
all about the journey.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Dude, there's something, it's a little like Steam libraries. There's something, and there's a little bit like snipping the cord going from 1 to 2 that we talked about. There's something that feels great about going into my Steam library and just hiding games forever. I don't need that game. I'm never going to play it. I don't want to even feel the desire to play it because I'm not going to, like I played a little bit, didn't like it, whatever. Turn it off. I think the greatest thing with all of this is the ability, and I hope that as we change and we start to see them talking, all companies seem to be gamifying even more now. And we're not talking about just the games. This is even worse. If it's in the game, it's one thing. I do not mind in the game stuff. I don't even mind Ubisoft in a way because they give you stuff to get with other games. But an arbitrary crystal that pops up to tell me I got a rare achievement is infuriating. And I saw it on a TV device recently where the TV was like, "You've watched 120 hours of Ice Road Truckers." And dude, I'm like, turn that shit off. You don't need to be reminded all the time of that stuff. And a game is a game by itself without the gamification of you swung your sword 100 times. You turned on Barbie and got 100 points for having the main menu play. Like, that's ridiculous. By the way, there's a bunch of games that if you play the credits, it'll give you, even though the credits are in the main menu now, not at the end of the game, if you hit the credits, it'll give you an achievement for watching the credits. It's like, let's see. Does gaming feel more miserable online lately because the industry is genuinely in trouble or because outrage farming has completely taken over gaming discussion? So I don't think he means gaming because that would be gaming, but gaming discussion feel more miserable. Yeah, gaming discussion. Yeah, I would say also because a lot of people will say, you'll hear somebody say, this person says something dumb, but I let them get away with it because I just don't want to fight them. And if everybody is choosing not to fight because stupid people say stuff, the only people saying stuff will be stupid people, and that's all you'll be reading, which will make you feel like the world is even more stupid. You can't retreat on some stuff. Some stuff you need to put your foot down and be like, no, that's incorrect. But I think it's hard. There's how many people are on Facebook? How many people are on Twitter? And the majority or a large amount are going to only react to the bad stuff.
Yeah, I think that's the problem is the bias is towards the negativity a lot of the time because that rewards the people putting it out, right? Because it generates engagement. It's a tough incentive model.
It's one of the reasons why when people can tell when I'm mad or whatever, because I will freak, and I'll get people mad at you and they'll be like, oh yeah, they didn't bitch about blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, because that is not something that there was to bitch about. I'm not going to arbitrarily bitch, but when I do bitch about something, you'll know and you'll hear it.
Yep.
I'm not going to rage farm. I don't have time to do a video and we need to talk. No, we fucking don't need to talk. We don't need to talk. It's idiotic. How many launchers does the average PC gamer realistically tolerate before they just stop caring about exclusives entirely and wait for Steam releases? 0. If you can't click a shortcut on the PC that you bought because your PC does every fucking thing in the world and you tell everybody it's a multitasking machine that can do anything in the world and yet you, the human, are not capable of clicking another shortcut, you're the problem. Sorry, we're done with that. I'm done with that. If you can't click a shortcut, we're fucking done. That's idiotic. And if you believe that Valve is great. Go look at how much money they take from developers, and they still can't figure this shit out. They just added some tags, and people were celebrating it like it was the end of the world. I hate cults, man. I hate them. Cult of Apple, Cult of Valve. Those two cults, I want torn down. I want torn fucking down. And I don't even want them torn down and destroyed. I just want people to look at it and go, yeah, you know what? They're dude. Anyway.
I mean, I get the convenience. I'm the first person who, if a game is like on Steam or Xbox Store, I'll probably get it on Steam. You know, that I prefer that. But the idea of one additional launcher, I think people blow it out of proportion.
They blow V8
because because what is it? Is it 3 launchers you have?
Probably. You could have 4
and like now you have,
I guess.
Like maybe you got a 4th. Come on, guys. It's okay. You can have 4 shortcuts, right? And very often you don't have the launcher shortcut. You just have the game shortcut, and then that boots up the launcher. You know, I just think it's a bit of a nothing burger. It's a bit of a dead argument, and it's part and parcel of today. And honestly, we wouldn't have it any other way, because that allows for competition between these different platforms. And even Steam being as big as they are forced to do some like consumer friendly stuff to keep up with these other outlets.
Yeah. Lucason says, will you guys actually discuss games tonight? I mean, we've literally discussed games for the last like 3 hours. In fact, we've been answering questions about games for the last 3 hours. So
goddamn,
I can discuss headphones, because apparently your headphones don't work. Buy some $5 headphones, turn them on, you'll be able to hear us talk about games. Yeah, that's stupid. It's like you're talking about games. Oh, you good?
That's crazy.
I don't mind the cult of ACG. We don't really have a cult. What I've noticed about us is people are well, we probably did, but I've tried to purposely destroy them. So I don't really like it. I think a cult is one of the worst things about a cult is that if you have a bunch of yes men, you might make the biggest mistake of your life. You might make the biggest mistake of your life if you
That's
don't
one
have
of the things I
saying,
respect about you,
dude,
because I know if I'm off my rocker, you will call me out on it. You'll be like, listen, Johnny, listen, buddy. Like, no, you're full of shit on that one.
You gotta have I mean, Absy does it to me. Sometimes I'll be saying something that's like, dude, what? You know, like, you have to have it, man. You have to, because if you don't, you will make a mistake. And what's funny is, think about it this way. Wouldn't it make sense scientifically that the worst mistake you're going to make when you don't have a yes man or a no man, when you don't have a Steve, the worst mistake you'll make is going to be that time when you most need it, obviously. You know, that's just the way this all works. If you look at it as like sort of a mathematical calculation, that'll be the time. You need somebody there who says, dude, don't date that girl. And maybe they're wrong, but it gives you a moment of thought, man, where you can sort of look and go, well, why is this person saying this? And you don't have to always take their opinion or whatever, but it's like in Twitter, you'll see somebody be like, oh, man, I had a hard day today because I told my boss to fuck off. And people be like, man, you go, girl, you're brave. It'd be like, dude, why'd you tell your boss to fuck off? Like, are you incapable of walking outside and being an adult and maybe not blathering to your boss and just openly, like, you should have a friend who's like, no, you probably shouldn't do that, dude. You should probably.
Sorry, give me a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries. He said he had to go for a second because of his back. He'll be right back. We like to break things around these parts. That is true. I use Steam and Xbox regularly on PC, but use whatever. Do you know where I go for sales? I go, or for where I purchase my games, sales. If the game is cheaper somewhere, I'll probably go there. Seller Red Beanie saying Carrick was right about everything. It would have to say on the back, not, because I've definitely been wrong about stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy, I was wrong about. Man, we saw Guardians of the Galaxy, and I was in our disc. I was on here, and I was like, dude, I'm sorry, that game. Now, admittedly, I think we can all agree, those first trailers, the videos of combat, it just looked rough. And it wasn't rough. It turned out to be awesome. It turned out to be turned out to be a enjoyable ass game with good, not great combat, but good combat. It's just one of those things. Got more questions here to talk about games because somebody said we weren't talking about games. So here we go with more game questions. This is a question that says, I feel like the industry only wants gigantic AAA blockbusters on tiny indies now, or tiny indies now. So where did all the solid 15-hour AA games go that used to fill the gaps? Let me give you an example of a solid 15-hour AA game. Outcast remake was pretty solid. Banishers is incredible. Banishers is one of the most enjoyable game I've played. Plague Tale 2, Plague Tale 3 is coming. All of those solid AA games. The solid AA games are here. You got coming out, Gothic remake is coming out. Solid AA game, a little longer. It's more like your 30, 40 hours. Solid A games are here. Indie games are here. AAA games are here. You just have to look more widely, cast your net. And if you're going online to look at trailers, a AA is not going to have as many views. You have to go out and actively search for them. You will not see them on YouTube as easily as you're going to see GTA news. So they were just asking if they, I think you're muted. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Which, oh, that's your Stream Deck. I told you my Roland died, right? The quad.
Yeah.
Or not the quad, the other one, the new one. Yeah.
The smaller one.
Smoke and everything. Yeah. Sucked. I'm so excited for the Gothic remake. Yeah, it seems like people are really stoked about that one. Seems like it's doing well. I'm excited to see what AA games are coming this year, actually. I think AA, AAA, indie, I think they're all in a good space when it comes to our offerings. Maybe not their ability to become popular. I think that's a little scary. But I think
Let me take care of this. Sorry, I got some neighbors making a mess.
Yeah, no worries. Go for it. I think that can be sort of an issue. But overall, I think AA's are here, guys. I think AA's are here. Let's see. Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon got some new DLC. Also, I don't know if anybody saw this, South of Midnight was honored at the Canadian Game Awards with 7 awards for soundtrack. Not just its soundtrack, I apologize. 7 awards total. So that did really well. Super happy. Alexa, turn off. Had a little bit of background music going on there. Happy to see that game doing well. I enjoyed that one. It wasn't the greatest game in the world, but there you go. AA game, right? I guess if you consider that AA. Yeah, that's AA. Yeah, that was a AA game. Plague 2 seemed more AAA in my opinion. Yeah, it wasn't. It was AA. But I mean, you could call it AAA if you wanted. Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to even identify right now when you talk to developers about game development and you ask them where their game fits, many don't know even how to answer because of the cost of gaming going up. So in the old days, there were 2 ways to really identify it. AA was basically an amount of money and what publisher you used. If you weren't using EA, you weren't using Activision, Microsoft, Sony, you could be considered generally AA. And then there was the money, and it was like 60 to 80 million. The problem is, in such a short time, games saw 2 huge deals. Right before COVID, the price had sort of solidified for AA. In fact, most of the developers I talked to were saying that they sort of knew exactly where their price was for particular things. And then with COVID, what happened was there was an influx of people who were able to do work, and it dropped a little bit. And there were people working from home. There was all these changes. And then there was a huge amount of basically hiring from some of the bigger companies. And what happened was when people came back, one of the developers I talked to, I was like, well, how are your finances now versus pre-COVID and during COVID? One of the most surprising answers I got was that the people who were coming to work for them were costing a good deal more because they were either sort of solidified in what they were doing at that time, and they were doing multiple things for multiple companies, getting more, they were freelancers, or they had gone to work for a big company for maybe at that time a little bit more safety and security. I'm not saying that's the same way now. And so some of these indie groups, their prices were going up for the sort of the block of cash it cost them. And now we're seeing it skyrocketing. And we're seeing game development cost a lot more because the expectations are more too. I mean, I think indie, whatever you want to call indie, is a little safer right now because people don't expect voice in your game, maybe. I think people are expecting it much more now, but they may give you a little bit more leeway. But I feel like indie games, because of their excellence in the past 6 years, we're starting to compare every indie game to every other indie game. And you talk to indie devs, I'm trying to think of, I'm sorry, I'm sort of spacing on who I've talked to recently because I've talked to a bunch of them. But if you talk to an indie dev, many times the expectations are starting to feel unrealistic on the indie devs too. So it used to be that every AAA game would need a movie star, or, you know, Cyberpunk comes out, every game's going to have to do this. And what does Cyberpunk do? I need to match that. What does GTA do in my open world game? We don't want to make an open world game because there's so many expectations. And now we're getting these indie games, The Eternal Life of Goldman or something, where you see this game and you look at it and you're like, this is beautiful. Then another game comes out and they don't have the art chops to do it. And people are like, well, it's not as good as that one. And there's so much competition now. It's easier to pick and choose your games. And it's harder on the, it's hard, man. I don't even know if I would want to make a game right now. I don't even know what I would make, you know? It would be difficult. All right, do you have neighbors screaming?
I fixed it. They just needed a little help.
A little help pushing them down the steps? Like, shut the fuck up! I'm trying to do a podcast, the ACG podcast. Shut the fuck up!
Yeah,
just push them down. What do you think of that, though? The question was basically, does it feel like it's either indie or AAA, and are the AA's gone? Like, how do you feel about that?
No, I think the line between those is blurring as well, like we talked about in a couple other podcasts, where you could have a small dev team backed by a very large either production or QA team, PR team. You know, we've seen, for example, Risk of Rain 2, they had a team of 3 devs.
Right.
But they had hundreds of people from Gearbox working on QA, publishing, all this stuff.
Yeah. What about Subnautica, too?
Yeah, that's another good example. Small dev team, big overall team.
And a big I know the publishing thing was a disaster, obviously. We know that. But
yeah.
I've always wondered, like, what they consider themselves. I'm assuming AA? I mean...
Yeah, I think they are AA.
I have a question for you. Let's say I'm 10 people, and we do a Kickstarter, and we get 20 million. We get 50 people, and we do 20 million. What are they?
Right.
What are you now? And are you an...
Yeah, does it depend on the money?
Does it,
or
or the team size? And what if one game is a text adventure and you get 5 million, which is an insane amount for a text adventure. Obviously, this is hyperbole. But then the other game is an open world game and it gets 10 million, and you know that the 10 million is not going to stretch as far on the open world games. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's why I think the indie AA, AAA just doesn't work. And it hasn't worked. It's just been easier to explain it that way. I think the signal like the sort of virtue signaling that we get is no longer useful.
Because labels are only useful when they represent something identifiable, tangible to everybody. Like, you see the label, that means the same thing to you as it does to me, and so on. But when the label means something different to you than it does to me, that's a not helpful label.
Yeah, like, dude, think about it this way. Imagine you go into a store and it says no fat, and you buy it,
right?
And there's 20 grams of fat. And you're like, what? And they're like, well, compared to our competitors, which are eclairs, which are 200 grams of fat, we are pretty much no fat. And you're like, well, pretty much no fat no longer is, what's low fat? Low fat to me, it is really difficult to even understand. Like, whenever I talk to somebody who's on a diet, and they're like, I'm going to try to lower my fat content a little bit, get to low fat this, low fat that. And you're like, that's good. Anybody who does that stuff, I firmly support them. But I'm like, don't just read the words. Because if it's low-fat ice cream, it could still be high-fat dessert. if you think in dessert forms, right? So, yeah, man. Craig says something. I guess game engines changed the landscape of AA versus AAA. They did. Dude, engines, there's a gamebiz.dev, 10 programs that are changing the way game development is done that popped about last week. That is crazy. They were showing engines. They were showing audio systems for putting music into your game and stuff that has changed the market and are going to in the next couple years, making it so that things rub up against each other a little bit, you know? And look at Mind's Eye. Mind's Eye was technically, cost-wise, a AAA game. Does anybody think that's technically a AAA game? Obviously not.
Yeah.
But if you look at it from the standpoint of these categories.
Yeah, as a business, right? Because it was a big project.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. Indie is a genre, not a size or a budget. Yeah, used to be. But I mean, indie is especially even when you look at like music, indie scene is completely ruined. It's like, what does this mean or does that mean? I think indie, AA, AAA just shouldn't be used anymore. This is an open world game.
Yeah, I think even as a genre, it's tricky now.
Yeah.
Because are we going to say like Expedition 33 was, fits into the indie genre just because like the number of devs or whatever?
Right.
But then we find that like the team was much bigger. Yeah, it's tough, man. Unless it's clearly like a game made by one person, then you can clearly say, yeah, it's indie. It's just, it gets too weird.
But if the game is made by one person and EA publishes it, it is not an indie.
Yeah, right.
And EA is one of the biggest supporters of small games that exists. So
there you go. But they would even tout it as an indie.
They would. Oh, yeah.
They would.
Sotness says categorization is getting pointless. 90% boneless chicken wings. Yeah. So true. It's why I was joking, saying that I was talking about somebody being so stupid they would somehow choke to death on a boneless chicken wing. But it's like that's the way the discussion feels right now. Is that I think overall, why discuss it? Why not just say this is a shooter? Because one's a signal, one is a virtue signal. That's all it is, or a cost spent signal. This is a AAA game. What does that mean out of any context? If somebody says it's a AAA game, that is a cost virtue signal. We spent a bunch of money on this game. That is exactly what it used to mean. What is a AA game? We didn't spend as much money on this game. But now we see AAA games costing less than some AA games. What is an indie game? Virtue signal. It means one person. And this is so bad that even the Game Awards got it wrong 3 times in the last year. 3 separate times the people who should have known exactly what to call something messed it up. That's an indicator it's broken. It just needs to go away.
The more I think about it, the indie genre, I think label has been used as a proxy for this game is a passion project.
Yeah.
So people would view it as this one dev, right? They spent 10 years creating this game and it's a labor of love kind of thing. Let's put a special spotlight on that. And I think the indie label became kind of that, and then was also used for other adjacent type of games. But maybe we just need a different label. Maybe we can just say, labor of love or like passion project. Better labels can come up. But
can I honestly say I think passion project is even worse? Passion project indicates the person working on a AAA game has no passion, and the people I know who were indie devs who are now working on AAA games have just as much passion, and I find it that to me is disgusting. That's almost worse, because that means not only am I going to neuter you for success, I'm going to snip you again, I'm going to geld you because you have the audacity to work for a big company. So therefore, it's impossible for you to have passion. That is why. And it's so nice to see multiple game devs get away from these categorizations, because that is a sickening signal boost. It's if you want to say you're one person, that's great. But how dare you? How fucking dare you How dare you say that you somehow magically have a fucking life bar called passion and yours is bigger than somebody else's?
Yours is bigger.
Dude, people in bands, you can't have as much passion. You have 5 people in your band. You have to be a guy out there with a kazoo in his fucking mouth, the drums and a guitar that he's playing all 3. Otherwise, no passion. Fuck you, man. Fuck you.
Okay,
right?
kazoo in that's great.
Well, you know,
and
that's what
it's
they're doing.
become...
They're playing the drums and the guitars with. It's like, dude, that person. You can't tell me that every single one of those doesn't. That they magically have. They magically have more passion than somebody else. And it's become
so normalized to shit on the big studios or the big AAAs that even myself, I didn't catch myself there. The implication saying if the small one is a passion project, the big one isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a toxic.
It is
narrative,
I mean, you know, and it comes. It's even why, like, it's even something that we have to deal with, or I have to deal with, when I'm like, okay, so here's some truth. It's like I work alone, and then you have like a GameSpot or something that's got multiple people. I can't say that I magically have more passion than them. That's ridiculous, because they're going to work every day. Maybe in an office they hate working, and maybe their passion is getting them from 9 to 5 working with that piece of shit who's next to them, who thinks shooting them in the face with a Nerf gun is fun, and all they want to do is push them down a flight of steps. But they go in because they have a passion to cover games. Do you see what I'm saying? Like the passion thing, that is a weird...
It's also impossible to measure, because you could see someone who works like 10-hour days, and you could call them passionate, but then someone else who's just more efficient and works 5-hour days and gets the same thing done, are they less passionate? Like, the more I'm thinking about it, I'm just pissed off, because it's so unfair, actually.
I think that's why it's great to just say this is a shooter.
Maybe that's it. Just got to land on that. And maybe we say, we aid the conversation with the price tag, right?
Yeah,
it's a $60 shooter, and it's an ambitious open world, for example.
I think
those are things that kind of explain the scope of it, right? Just explain the scope of it.
Yeah. EF Bay says, based on the sounds of the previews, ACBF Resync sounds like it has a lot of passion behind it. Yeah. Look at previews for AC games. This happens all the time. That's why I'm just like, do you want to go play the game? I'm like, I would rather not. No, I'd rather just play it, because you're going to get sucked into this discussion of like, oh my God, we need to talk about how much they're not doing, or we need to talk about how much they are doing. It's like, no, we don't. We just need to see what the game's worth. Is the game worth it?
Yep.
Is it a good game? Dude, a lot of people I know have never played Black Flag. Ever. So to them, they don't have any of these connotations like, oh, they've been doing so much. It's like, what does that mean? What does that mean? They've been doing so much. To somebody who hasn't played it, it means absolutely nothing, You have to be passionate to work in the gaming industry. It's not great to work in. I don't know. I wasn't passionate for logging, and I worked in logging. So I think that's not true. I don't think you have to be passionate to work where you work. I think that can be a lot of places I've worked that I was not passionate.
Because a lot of times you don't get into it because you're passionate. You get into it because, what's hot right now? Well, software engineering is hot, this being like 10 years ago. So I'm going to just go study that. You don't know where you're going to end up, You know
what?
A lot of people don't know up front.
With games like you see Sawyer from Obsidian, he gets to make, we'll call it his passion project, whatever. His indie game that wasn't an indie, but you get this game. He's got like 10 people. He makes Pentiment, right? I just think it's such a disservice if you do cut it down to it's all this stuff versus it is a game. Think about how shitty it is to explain it this way. It's a game made by a ton of devs with some passion, and it's a 2D game, but you've spent most of your words on your tweet explaining the social signal shit. Or you say, it's about a friar doing a murder mystery, and you just talk about the game in your tweet. Let's say 144 letters, 244, whatever you have now. That, to me, That second one is way more worthwhile than hearing all the other stuff. In a podcast or when he talks, I want to see that. But I it's the game, man. That's what you'll be playing in the end. Are you playing Sawyer? No. If you were, that'd be a whole different game. You're not playing the person making it. You're playing the game that you get. And I
bring it back to what the game is.
Yeah.
What is it actually?
Especially with so many games. It's really difficult, man. There's so many things, so many games.
And tags as well, because like something can be a Souls-like, but is it, what is it like really? It's a big gamut of games in there.
Did you guys
so
all
it's also
hear,
not.
By the way, Johnny, did you hear this? Steam added Bullet Heaven.
Oh, wait. What's the differentiation between Bullet Hell and Heaven? Are you just like happy? You're like a bag of rainbows while playing it, as opposed to stressed out?
I honestly don't know. I don't know.
It's hilarious. That's almost like when they changed the words, instead of saying whitelisted or like blacklisted, you can't use those terms anymore in software engineering.
Oh yeah, there's definitely terms you can't use.
Yeah, or like the master slave model for services and stuff. You can't use that anymore either.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I forgot that changed in one of my updates.
Granted, some of those for a good reason. It is a bit touchy language there.
Yeah, people are talking about Game Pass and saving companies. Yeah, it was pretty crazy when we were talking to Victor. There were a couple others who were like, dude, without Game Pass, we would not have stayed afloat. And it's like, to me, that's the best part, is that there's so many ways to get a game now. There's itch.io, which is free. And by the way, anybody who likes smaller games, we'll just call them smaller. I personally would say, check out itch.io, man. They have a ton of stuff on itch.io, which is great. And then some of those games will do good on itch.io, and they'll come out on Steam paid, which is actually really cool, too. So you'll get, like, your free game on, maybe it'll be like we'll call it a 1.0. You'll get that on itch sometimes. And then a year later, I'll go look and find it on Steam, and it's sort of like their 2.0, Maybe they got a little bit of money, they got whatever, and you see this. And I think that's what's so cool is EA, supporting smaller devs. You see smaller dev teams getting money from them. You see Game Pass, you see these ways. Everybody's got these different ways. They're not all perfect. None will be perfect. Getting a $50 million loan isn't perfect. So you get those. And like, it's just awesome. And we see the devs literally talking about game. If anybody wants to see like how devs are delivering games and how they choose, GameDeveloper.biz has a lot where they've talked about, how they choose and who comes to them and who's like gives them the best deal. Sometimes they'll pass up the best deal for a longer running deal. So you get all these, you get really good information. GDC is another place. I can't tell what people are arguing about. Is somebody trying to say that Game Pass hasn't helped a dev out? Because multiple devs have talked about that literally online. Even in GDCs, they talk about that. I can't tell if that's what people are talking about. Quit arguing. I'm just joking. Yeah. I mean, the thing is like, just because you don't like something and we don't like genres doesn't mean it's going to continually be used. But I will fight that for a while. I just don't like it, man. It's a little rough sometimes when it comes to the genres. Yeah, I don't know what Bullet Heaven means. I don't know what it means. I guess
it's
I know
becoming
what
like
means,
the music
means
genres.
This is hell,
Yeah,
it's becoming. Oh yeah. Your
like
urban
the
slap happy
neo metal
Viking trap or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's still led to many companies closing. Yeah. The entire industry has. No particular way of delivering games has like dominated the way companies go out of business, as we're seeing right now. Huge companies, small companies. By the way, one of the things people don't realize is how many indie companies go out of business, or indies and AA companies go out of business before they even announce the game. That's where I get a lot of my data, is when I'm talking to somebody who's now a YouTuber, and I'm like, how'd you become a YouTuber? And they say, well, I was making an indie game and we couldn't even, it couldn't come together. We worked for 3 years, and we have an indie game
Yeah.
sitting there that's not done. But you'll never hear that because they don't even announce the game that they're working on. They're not. They didn't even get to that point. They didn't even get to the point. It sucks, man. It sucks. But what else do we got for news? I know you were saying your back was hurting.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Doing okay now, actually.
Oh, this Finn Razzle says bullet heaven means you send out so many bullets rather than you have to dodge all the bullets. True. Oregon Fresh says, crazy concept. There's good and bad to every selling model. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you'll always get somebody who stands on top and crows, but it's almost like when somebody says Game Pass will die. And they just keep putting more money in, and everybody... It's like you've got some people who are probably still sitting on that old turd. It's a weird one. Always be cooking. PLN 25, what's up, sir? Says, just wanted to increase the passion a bit. Hey, man. I think Johnny's got passion. Mine's maybe mine's gone. No, I don't think so. I think mine's increased. Bro,
you're one of the most driven people I know. What are you talking about?
I was
You're like, insane.
I do. I like me some games, man. I like me some games.
Yeah.
What else do we got going on in games though? What do we got? That's like what's something? How about we talk about something that's surprising? Something that is like ultimately has been surprising this no, that's all right. Always be cooking. What's something that is in this past 6 months that's been a really good, surprising thing? It can be a surprising game. It can be a surprising peripheral. It can be something like positive and awesome in games that has come about.
I think Subnautica 2 is a really good... Did we talk about it last week?
A little bit, yeah. But why do you think that?
It's a really good early access game. So it's got shortcomings in the places you expect. So it doesn't have all the biomes. It's not as fleshed out compared to Subnautica 1, for example. The progression is not quite there. It's very much so feeling like a sandbox right now. But it's a fun sandbox for you to jump in, get a taste for what the game is going to be. And I think it's actually a great example of early access, where you're not finding like blank skill trees or technology trees, this type of stuff you see sometimes in early access. No, it is like a solid foundation of a game there. And a great experience already as it is. For example, I spent 30 hours in there. I made a video today talking about it as well. And overall, good time to jump in, check it out, and then take a step back. And the time you spent makes you more excited for the full release in a way that I haven't really felt that much in early access. In fact, it's been the opposite. Because I jumped early, I would be like just reluctant to jump back in the full access. But now I have a strong feeling of like, yes, I want to play this game when it's completed, but take a step back now, allow them to do their work. And I think that's how early access should be. The only other thing I would like to see added is a firm estimate for when the game's going to be ready, because still it's very in the clouds. They give you a roadmap of what's going to be coming out, but there isn't a roadmap for 1.0. I would love to kind of see that up front.
I'll agree with you, and then I'll add another one. But I think Subnautica being on Game Pass is one of the biggest bonuses, because I didn't expect that to be on Game Pass. That is massive. And I would say, I know you probably bought it, but I think the majority of people I know right now are playing the Game Pass. And then Forza doing as well Forza wasn't talked about a bunch until maybe the last 2 months. And I didn't know how it was going to do. I mean, I knew it was going to do well because it's Japan, but I didn't know if it was going to be good and do well. But my separate one and I can't even tell you if this is going to have bad connotations because of all the hubbub that went around it, but the Disco Elysium company released their game, and it got stellar reviews. And it is a genuinely amazing, like, RPG game. And then you have some of their devs now, the Disco Elysium devs, you have a couple of them on Kickstarter, and they have a game that is on Kickstarter right now that they're getting money for. So regardless of all the battle that happened there and very tangible, real bad feelings and all the stuff that happened, that's amazing. Like,
yeah,
that is amazing to me how that came together too. And in a way, you had the Crafton thing with Subnautica that went bad, and now you still have them doing good. They had to rehire them, all that kind of weird shit. So you have these things that honestly could have meant the game wasn't coming out, right? Or could have meant that, like, it, because we've seen that too, where shit's falling apart and what you get is bad, and you're sitting there going like, holy crap. Two of the biggest contentious situations, Disco Elysium and Subnautica 2, have to be two of the biggest and regardless of any of the other stuff, if I have a friend who doesn't know this other bullshit I know, they can get two games that are awesome. That to me is like what really matters. And you see it with rock bands where like one guy will split and he'll make a new band and he does well and the original band does well too. Even though there's contentious and there's shit flying all the time, it's like, well, you know what? In the end, you get two really good records. And now we got two really good games from situations that absolutely sucked. And it shows that there are ways for them to separate and still do well. Also, some other surprises. I didn't expect Soros to be so good, somebody says. Somebody says Crimson Desert responding to player feedback on a weekly basis is awesome. Machine says all the changes with the Xbox, joking. I know not much time has changed. Yeah. But hey, who knows? Yeah, who knows? So it is just really cool. I mean, these guys, like, it's awesome because gamers benefit from it. The developers get to continue to make games. And more people, especially with Subnautica and Game Pass, that's just fucking amazing. Like, that to me is probably, it's not as big as Forza, but it's huge. That is fucking ludicrous. That actually shocked me more than anything. I don't know, how all that deal came about, but that is awesome because the number of people I know who would never have played that, who are now playing it, is insanely high, and who had no plans to get it. So it's just like awesome. A lot of AI execs at Xbox. Yeah. True. That's the one thing that always shocks me is like people will spend an hour on Twitter bitching about AI, and then some of the major people from different companies at AI are now running Xbox. It doesn't mean anything. We've had like GE salesmen doing a great job running a video game company. It doesn't really mean much, but at the same time, it just sort of goes away if they're on your team, It's like, oh, well, they're on our team now. So, by the way, this happened a great deal. The bald guy, he ran Google Stadia when that failed, but he was at Sony for years. What is his name? He worked at Sony for years, and he was a staunch Sony guy, and then left Sony and worked at Microsoft, and then just immediately switched. And people are like, I love him now. And you're like, oh, God, here we go. It's like NFL teams getting different quarterbacks. Let's see. What are they talking? Oh my God, people quit losing your minds in the chat. Jesus Christ. You guys, what the fuck? They're bitching about stuff that doesn't even make sense. AI wasn't a thing until 5 years ago. That's just what they've done lately. Yeah, that's the other thing that I think is important is, let's say somebody is a quarterback for a bad team for the last 5 years, but they were an amazing quarterback and they've still got some pretty good numbers. You can remember just the last 5 years, but you can say this person has some good, solid skills. We'll bring them in. And I think that that's the smarter plan. It's not always, you may have worked at a shitty company that didn't do well.
Yep.
It doesn't mean if given the tools, you can't do well at a new company. I mean, we've all had that. Or you stay at a company too long and you're not doing well, and then you move to a new company and your passion is back. Your passion meter has lit.
You're going to keep hitting me with that.
No, I'm not. Oh, I wasn't meaning to hit you. Sorry. No,
no, it's okay. It was a terrible idea. Yeah,
It was,
let's call it a passion project.
yeah, we'll just have to see how all that goes.
All good.
But I think with all these companies, it's best not to care who runs them. I think
so. Yeah.
I think it was nice to have Phil who played games. It did, and he did, and it didn't work out perfectly. There were a couple great times, but it didn't work out. And sometimes you'll get somebody in there who you're like, what do they have? Why are they going to do well? Sometimes it's new blood who just looks at things in a different way because they say this hasn't worked.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it also doesn't have to be the CEO. If there is someone in there that can bridge the gap between the CEO and the public, that sometimes can be a technical person, right? Or can be like just someone adjacent to the executives.
Absolutely right.
That can kind of like speak our language, so they can kind of come out and say, listen, this is what we're focusing on. This is what it means for you guys. And they can be a bit more relatable, right?
Like a good vice president versus a president that you're just, you know, or a good,
exactly.
Whatever you guys have, premier. What do you have? What do you? What do they call like
prime minister?
Prime minister. Sorry, I said premier. But yeah, prime minister. Then you might have somebody who's like the vice prime minister, who's just easier. They're just easier to digest, and maybe that's their thing. Is just that.
Right.
Maybe their major thing is their ability to really sort of be able to transfer data a little bit easier than that person who can't. I've had many a boss that you're like, yeah, he probably shouldn't talk. Probably shouldn't be the one doing that.
Yeah, their skills are elsewhere.
Yeah,
right?
and they have
and that makes
skills.
sense.
And they, in fact, they work better as a team sometimes, where they're the, you know, but when they talk, they're like, and we like computer, and you're all, oh, dude, this is not going to work out.
Yeah, like Resident Alien. He could use someone
he
to
could use a PR person.
Bridge the gap. Yeah,
Machine XP, $5 super chat. Just a lot of hot and heavy passion in this chat. Yeah, exactly. But you guys need to realize, man, like people, there's a lot of people who state, yeah, we won't even go there. We'll just move on. Yeah, it's one of those things. Vice president to vice president to present is premier to Premiere Pro. I think that was supposed to be a joke, but I think you meant vice president to president is Premiere to Premiere Pro, right? Hey, did you hear about I think that's
okay.
What
yeah, I got it now.
Some VPs are passionate about couches, for example. That sounds
that's
sexual.
Vaguely sexual. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's vaguely sexual.
But you were gonna say?
I don't know. I read the couch comment.
My
brain turned to Brazzers or Bang.
I know,
or
instantly.
Bang Couch or whatever it's called.
They ruined couches for us forever.
They did. Dude, I was with my wife going to the movie a couple weeks ago, and we walked by, and there was a furniture store next to the movie theater, and the couch would just happen to be that color, and it was just against a wall. It didn't even
ruined.
have it's ruined. I saw it, and I was like, oh, God.
Nope.
And I just realized it is, yeah. Or you see a bunch, like you'll see a movie premiere, and they'll get all the actors. And if there's one female on the couch and a bunch of, you know how they do the thing with all the actors where they all sit around,
standing around.
They got their arms crossed, and you look at it and you're like, I wish these guys knew what we knew, because that's just not a good look. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Nope.
I know which couch he's talking about, Oregon says. I bet you do.
Yeah,
you do.
I bet you do.
I mean,
listen.
I feel like white vans have always been questionable, though. I feel like before.
Oh yeah,
that was a thing. Like as a kid, you'd see a white van, and maybe I was just told that when I was a kid to watch out for.
100%.
Like
they were dodgy for sure.
They were dodgy. But yeah, anybody driving around a white van.
Yeah, who's out there buying a white van?
Yeah, especially one with no
unless
windows.
You're a business.
Unless you're a business,
if you got your plumbing logo.
You got your plumbing logo. Come on. You could have chosen
that is code.
But plumbing.
That is 100% code.
It could have. Man. Yeah. See, that's and they ruined plumbers. Remember the episode of Friends when he walks in?
The slogan is "We're here to lay pipe."
We're here to lay pipe, and Monica invites Joey in, and he's like, she's like, "Are you thirsty?" And he's like, "Yeah." And she walks in to make him lemonade, and he's already undressed and naked. And she's
instantly undressed.
Like, how often did this happen? He's like, all the time. He had no clue that like it didn't mean sex. And I was like, dude,
yeah,
so
great.
good. Let's see. Can never look at couches the same. Astrovans from the 90s are cursed. Astrovans from the 90s.
Oh, is that the model?
Astrovan to us is a minivan, not the
Chevrolet one.
Not the big, the big 360 Dodge engine vans are the ones I'm talking about. You know, with no windows. Yeah. Anything with no windows on it's suspect, right?
Oh yeah, dude. Or like the painted windows.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. Or
yeah.
So where I live, there's all these nice houses, right? Not nice, but I mean normal, middle. Like we're definitely middle to low income. Sometimes middle if I do well. So middle, low income. So you see these houses, they look pretty nice. Everybody's yard's done. And then there's the house. Every time in every neighborhood, there's the house. It's got a bunch of signs about beware of dog, do not knock, blah, blah, blah. Wood over the windows. The yard is threadbare. It's like, it's not even green when it's raining. It's always brown and dead. And there's always one car in the parking lot up on a jack, and then a shitty-ass, really beater car right behind it. And every goddamn time that there is ever a police call near us, it is that house. It's just the house. It's the house. It's like
that's the one as a kid where you're playing ball, and the ball goes to that house,
and you're like,
and you just get a new ball.
Yeah,
you're not going in there.
You went into the Petersons' yard, and you're like, it's staying there. You know, their yard is filled with ball. Their yard is filled with balls. Sounds weird, but their yard is filled with softballs or whatever because nobody's going in there to get them. Yeah,
exactly.
And you never hear a dog, by the way. They'll always say, "Beware of dog." Never hear a dog because that's not what they're trying to get.
That's where the legends begin. It's all like rumors, you know. It's like, ooh.
Yep. That's you don't want to go there.
This kid was never seen. After going in,
have you guys seen Timmy in the last 2 years? No, it's because we sent him to get a ball.
Exactly.
He never came back, man. Little Timmy's still in there.
He's become the dog now. Okay, yeah, I don't know where I'm going.
When you think it's a dog, it's just a kid in the basement screaming. Astro was the first all-wheel drive minivan. Okay, that's good. Somebody knows a lot about Astrovans, which could be weird.
Yeah, oddly specific for you to know. Yeah.
So you're doing Forza. What's your favorite race car? What's your favorite car in Forza?
So I only have a few hours because I played it today only. And I would say that the coolest car I found was a classic Mazda in like blue, lovely blue. And it's really nice classic. And that's the thing I've been driving the most. But it's been great. Yeah, it's a great time. And I forgot about how the game worked. Like they really want you to go through the checkpoints because they will be forgiving with the rewind. But if you don't go through a checkpoint, your race is over because it doesn't matter if you're first place.
You. Yeah, exactly.
You're getting reset and you're 12th place now. So enjoy. So it's just kind of remembering how the game goes. But I really enjoy the way the driving line coaches you. It's telling you like, hey, you know, you got to start braking here. And it's really satisfying that if you follow the line really well, you're just going to drive well. It sounds kind of simple and it sounds bad when I say it that way, but it's for someone who's a casual, that's a nice aid that allows you to feel like someone who knows how to drive, but without the knowing. If that makes sense.
No, it does.
Because it can be very frustrating if you're someone who you just don't know like how to take the turns and stuff. Mm-hmm. To go from that to knowing is tough. It's a tough curve if you go into like a more simulation game. So yeah, I really appreciate the way they do it where you don't have a ton of inputs. You got your accelerator, your brake, you know, and you're just mostly focused on the world itself. And enjoying the scenery, and then also just going with the flow.
Sully gave us a $10 super chat, a passion chat. Just dropping by to support the cause. Haven't been around in a while due to medic school. Praise Odin, says Sully.
Passion chat.
Yeah, thank you for the passion chat, man. If we get 6,000 likes on this, maybe we'll do another stream this week. Dude, I was so we always tease Rad Brad because he'll be like, here's my first video. And if I get
Part one.
250,000 thumbs up, I might do a second one. You're like, dude, that's that is actually not nefarious, but highly intelligent, even though I tease
He
him.
cracked the system, man. Even
So
to this day, the
it's
SEO
so
is like,
nefarious. I was watching a mystery channel, and this girl, who does a great job at mysteries, at the end, she's like, yeah, so if I get like 65,000 videos, I might do, or thumbs up, I might do part 2 of this. And I was like, oh man, yeah, that's like, it's everywhere. It's such a smart way of doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we get 500 likes on this, I'll do another side. Oh, dude, the side podcast. I'll do another side podcast. Side podcast was fun this week, man. I covered a bunch of stuff. I forgot I even did it. You can find us on Spotify and iTunes too. I have been asked where most of our viewers are. Weirdly enough, YouTube's okay, but Spotify and iTunes, people like listening, probably because it's either listen or look and listen, and let's be honest, neither one of us are breaking any records for hotness, right? I mean, manliness for sure.
I don't have the, the luscious hair.
But manliness, we're tapped out. Like, you can't go any higher. We've, like, manliness, we're definitely maxed out. But, looks, maybe charisma.
I'd say you're carrying the heavier part of that.
Of the manliness?
But I'll take that. I'll take that as a compliment.
You've got the dexterity. I've got the manliness. Maybe you've got you've got the intelligence. I've got the manliness, and together we make a pretty intelligent.
I don't know. Again, very charitable. I'll take it. Let's go with that.
Hey, I'll give it to you. A medic is always a good sight. Oh, so my favorite car, I have a bunch, but I think it's a 57 Chevy. Cranked up mutter tires on it, and I have spent the last 2 days making races. You can find them. One's messed up, I admit, but it's ACG123, ACG1234. Very easy to find my events. Malanthrax, I think, is the username I'm using for these events. But I made a hill climb, and everybody who was doing it has never expected to do a race where you may not make it to the first checkpoint. I have a hill climb and a checkpoint. The first checkpoint's right at the top. We watched Beaver for like an hour try to get to that first checkpoint. He could not. He's like, okay, I got to tune the car this way. It's actually fun because I think most people make their races just like start here, go here. And not me. I'm putting traps in my races. So there's like grass and a rock hidden there that'll stop you. There's a jump.
Oh my God.
The checkpoint's over here. And dude, we had people in there going like, these are the best fucking races ever. They're not like any other race because I have no clue where the next thing will be. And so I spent hours building these gnarly racetracks. And people
That's how I picture your house. Like, you've set it up with traps and like challenges. So like people to go through the yard, they need to like.
That's the way to do it. Yeah, that's the way to do it. You saw a leg off of one of the couches, but you just make it look like it's supported. So when they sit it, you can be like, you broke my couch, you have to buy a new one. And they're like, seriously? Yeah, man, you broke the couch. And then you just get them to buy a new one.
They look at it, it's like, it's sawed off, Carrick. Like,
yeah, they're like, it broke quite cleanly on the leg. And I'm like, yeah, that is weird. That is weird. I'll help
Listen,
you
I'm no CSI Miami, but this thing's been...
Yeah, you are right. That is suspicious. And by the way, I happen to have the online catalog for the new furniture store up. So let's go ahead and look through this so you can buy me a replacement couch. No, my house has got dogs. Those are traps enough. Yeah, they get under feet. They scare the poor. What do you call it? The poor mailman. See, my dogs.
Those are big dogs, aren't they?
They're big dogs, but two of them are cowards. Like a fly goes by, that guy's shivering, and he's like. But if a mailman, like I don't know what it is, because he's a
holy. I mean, yeah,
he's
it's
never
primal.
seen one. It's primal.
Yeah.
They hear that mailman, and they're just like, "Fuck you!" And
motherfucker,
by the way,
I have been.
If they came
evolved
in,
for
they
this.
would run to the back and still bark, but they would never attack. They're like they're just loudmouths. But it is so funny to see them be like. Sound all big and strong. I've had Instacart people be like, "Can I just leave my stuff like at the end of the walkway?" And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." I wouldn't want to be barked at either. But
yeah,
if they were to come in the house, those cowards, they'd be under a table. Or if a fly goes by, they're just like, oh. I mean, I have one who goes under the deck when there's too many flies and just hides shivering under the deck. I'm like, dude, such a pussy, man. But yeah, I'm telling you, set up your house with a bunch of as many traps as humanly possible. And then when people break your shit, like tell them to go get the remote for the TV, but put the TV on a spindle so the moment they touch it, it falls over. Brand new TV. I'm telling you, this is the way to do it.
Wow.
That's if you have really well-off friends. Now that I think about it, it's probably not going to work.
It's like that movie. What was that franchise of movies where
Home Alone?
Okay, well, that one too.
Oh,
I was thinking of the one, Final Destination. You know that one?
Oh yeah.
Where like, like one thing will fall here, there, touch here and there. A log is. It's so great, man.
Those are actually pretty good horror movies. As horror movies go.
Legitimately.
Yeah. Speaking of horror, real quick, are you going to do Directive 8020?
I don't think so, because I did watch most of it played, and I enjoyed watching more than playing. I like to watch. Yeah, was more of a laid-back thing. So probably not, because I've been spoiled for some of the big plot points already. But it was, I liked it. Yeah. Again, I'm happy for all the space stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Me too, man. I'm loving the space stuff. I like.
Not everything's gonna be a banger, but just the sheer, abundance is good.
Dude, I think Expanse is in sort of a troublesome point. So I don't know if you saw this, but I feel. Listen, were the voices the greatest? No. Were they the greatest for? Were they bad? In general, for everybody, yes, but only the male voice leads have been replaced. I don't know if you saw this. They got replaced last week.
Why? So, what happened?
Because people complained about the male voice actor so much.
Was bad?
That they're redoing all the voices, yeah. And I got to say, not to be rude, man, I'm not saying it felt sexist or like a symbol or anything, but I listened to the female voice too. And this has happened to me a couple times in other primary games where people be like, you can choose the male or female. And I'm like, listen, I'm sorry. They both ain't good. And that's sort of the way this game is. I'm sorry, but if you're going to replace the male lead, I think you should replace both. Not only that, the voices of the characters in the world aren't great at all. And this is a game based on fairly iconic characters with a lot of slang. This is the Expanse I'm talking about. So the Beltalada, there's all this slang and all this accent. Nobody has an accent in the game. So it's very weird to play the Expanse. And I'm really worried like how they're going to go about it. Because let's say you get a really good male voice actor. I'm trying to think of somebody who's really good that like isn't overdone. So
someone who isn't Troy Baker.
Yeah, I'm just saying. And that's a lot of money. So let's say you get Anthony Ingruber, who can do accents and he's really good. You get him, and he levels up the male voice lead. Well, now you got the female voice lead who hasn't leveled up. And by the way,
it's like when you exercise only one arm.
Yeah, you look like those weightlifters on YouTube Shorts or the arm wrestlers. And their arm is crinked up because that's all they do. And they're trying to grab a pop and they have to bend their fucking at the waist to pick up the pop like a Tyrannosaurus Rex because their arm's so bent. That's what you're going to have. You're going to have this guy who's like, Beltalada, and doing all the weird accents. You're going to have a lady go, Beltalada. And you'll be like, oh, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
You didn't even try.
She's got the basic
You're going to have Natalie Portman out there, who's sorry, but Natalie Portman was only good in one movie, Black Swan, because it apparently
how dare you?
Is how she acts. I mean, she's wooden as shit. Come on. Natalie Portman.
I will hunt you down.
Literally needs to be stained because she's so wooden. She is wooden, man. Come on. Well, okay, what's she not wooden?
I may be biased on this.
What do you like her in? Have you seen Black Swan? I think she's good in Black Swan.
Yeah, she was good in that. I like V for Vendetta.
Good idea.
Yeah, V for Vendetta, Star Wars. What was her?
I'm going to give you that because I can't remember. No, Star Wars. No, no. You mean
what? Come on, man.
When she's like, no, I love you more. No, I love.
Okay, the writing was bad. Okay, I agree. The writing was bad, but
writing was bad.
I like her in it. I like the hairdos.
Okay.
Are
you a fan of wigs?
I'm just biased.
Are you a fan of have you seen Alias with Jennifer Garner? That was the FBI. I don't remember, but like a special unit, and she always wore wigs. I know a lot of my friends were super into that, and I hadn't been.
I didn't like it too much, but it was fine. It was fine as a show. Yeah.
Yeah. I just know a lot of people were into the wig look for some reason, which sort of surprised me on that. Which is why
honestly I didn't know it was
Star
a wig.
Wars was that. Yeah,
but
so
it makes sense. Checks out.
In Star Wars, she's always wearing, the finery, like the big hair and the, all the almost like geisha looking, or a very white pasty face, the red line.
Yeah,
I mean, that's all.
It is true.
Yeah. I mean, I love George Lucas,
very
but
geisha.
It's very
adjacent.
I mean, and the Trade Federation shows up and they're like, "Hey, how are you? Howdy, mate?" And you're like, "Dude, come on, try a little harder."
True.
But yeah, okay, I'll give you. I just think she's winning. But anyway, long story short, Expanse is going to have a tough time because you can't level up. Yeah, you can't level up one side. I do think that does become. It's like when, I don't know, do you know what the $1 Million Man is? Did you ever hear about that show when you were a kid?
Yeah.
So the $1 Million Man, they only replaced one fucking leg. That guy would be running in circles with a bionic leg, right? that is the way it would be in the Expanse if you just one up just the one side. You need to really go in there. Or maybe re-record it with both of them. Peter Dinklage was replacing Destiny. Remember that? There's a wizard on the moon.
Yeah, he started as the mechanical NPC, right?
I think he could have done fine if they had him redo it. I think whoever was the audio director just didn't do a good job of being like, because that guy's been in Threshold and he's funny, sarcastic, he's scared sometimes in Threshold. He does a great job in that. He did a great job in Game of Thrones. And then you get him in Destiny and you're like, I teased him a lot, but at the same time, I'm like, seems like they probably could have just had him re-record and be like, we need a little more. Yeah,
it could have been
juice.
a cost thing too. Like it didn't turn out well, but to do a retake or like it would just be. Get
Nolan North to do. Nolan North can't be cheap because he's number 2 after Troy Baker. Well, he's not, but he's not Tyrone Lannister. You're right. You're right. Yeah, I bet you. Or maybe he's just like, I don't fucking want to do it. Like maybe he thought games are stupid. He wouldn't be the first actor to not know. Charlie Cox
back then. It was a bit like that.
Even Charlie Cox, he didn't even know what he was doing when he did Expedition 33. He was like, I have no real clue, So
I like the honesty. At least he didn't pretend like, oh yeah, for sure, I game all the time, Yeah. And then you ask him, oh yeah, what's your favorite game? Tetris.
Yeah. When that is the thing, right? Do they need to know? No. But they need to know it's like TV, soap operas, or movies where it is a different style. They don't need to know games. I don't think they need to know games at all, really. But they do need to know that you're emoting differently. And you're never going to be
I wonder
screen.
if it is different. Andy Serkis was saying he doesn't find it to be that different. But he's also... his characters have been... a lot of them CGI, right? So there's...
Right. Exactly. I think Andy Serkis isn't understanding that his entire way of doing stuff has been leading him to games
a little bit closer to games.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because you even hear the one lady from Avatar and the other guy from the guy from Avatar, both them said they didn't know for the first movie how. What
do you think about Death Stranding? They had some big names, right? Blanking on the names right now, but they had a bunch.
I think they did pretty well with Death Stranding, especially 2. They were a little bit more comfortable, and even the over the top stuff. In fact, I would say the most uncomfortable was Troy Baker. His was the most, but that was the character. The character, more.
Yeah,
but
quirky.
I would say I think those guys. But I think Kojima was making movies from Metal Gear Solid 3 on.
Yeah. There you go. His stuff is also closer to a movie, than general games.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there's some of that.
I think that's why those two might say, "Oh, it's the same." But you get somebody who's like Peter Dinklage is probably going, "What do you mean I won't be on the screen ever?" No, you'll be a little box that's over behind somebody just talking. So you're like, "I'm a robot."
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a robot. Okay. There's a wizard on the moon.
Maybe that's tough for him too. But maybe that's why it didn't turn out so well.
He's a theater actor. It's got to be.
He's a theater actor, and now suddenly you're a mechanical, ball, and you have basically no personality, kind of, right? Because you're you're an AI or
Yeah,
whatever.
when people say you're a robot or you're AI, maybe he was like,
Yeah.
okay, there's a robot on the moon. You know, he doesn't think that
Right.
it's an emotive robot where, I mean, how many movies have you seen, Johnny, lately where they get a robot or an AI? Like you listen to AI in Star Trek Next Generation, which is supposed to be 30,000 billion years past us, and the robot's like, I am turning on the shields. And you're like, oh, and now we hear
Yeah.
like, you know, Chat GPT or whatever that sounds close to normal. So yeah, there's
Right.
there's that difference there in how
Yeah, Bluetooth
maybe,
connected.
oh
Yeah.
dude, mine are all Chinese headsets too. So it's not even a person who, and by the way, I can tell you, you can tell when somebody knows the words they're saying and somebody who is saying words they don't know what they mean. And I have a headset that turns on and says Bluetooth connected, and you can tell the person doesn't know what they're saying. It's not only the accent, it's where it sounds. It's almost like a person being told to bark like a dog. And so they're being told to say Bluetooth connected, and but their language is not English at all. So they're like, ooh, oof, effed. And you're like,
yeah, the phonemes don't match. The like,
yeah, exactly.
Bluetooth
it's like
connected.
Bluetooth connected. And you're like,
Yeah.
dude, I don't think that's, it would be like me, you know, if somebody says go say something in Japanese, even if they tell me the word, the connotation isn't there and the connections aren't there. And so it just sounds. It doesn't sound like a true holistic word. But yeah, we got off on a tangent there. You know, Bluetooth, named after an explorer, named after a Viking, and named after a person who communicated back to his people. Bluetooth, by the way, still the worst technology ever. I still think Bluetooth is so behind on everything else, man. I have a 2.4 wireless headset and I have a Bluetooth headset, and this Bluetooth headset's supposed to be one of the best. It uses high level, sort of high latency, so I don't play games with it. But the difference between a 2.4 and that Bluetooth, man, or like, have you Bluetooth, even a Bluetooth keyboard, Bluetooth mouse, I don't like as much. I really do like having that 2.4.
It's like that friend that's technically always there for you, but will invariably let you down.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. They're there all the time.
They will. Yeah.
And it really doesn't matter because they're there all the time. Yeah. What else do we got before we wrap it up, man?
I wanted to talk to you about The Pit. I watched season 1 of The Pit.
What do you think?
And it's great. It's a fantastic show. And
there's a but by the way, I can tell.
I mean, there's always a but
there should be.
No, in this case, it is just great, actually, without buts. What I was gonna say is that it brought me back memories of when I watched ER as a kid.
Absolutely.
And he was, you know, he was
Jonathan
the young gun
Yeah.
coming up with George Clooney and stuff. And I really liked that show back in the day as a kid. And it was great watching him. I don't know why it's not called ER2. I think it could, maybe.
Did you know that's what it was supposed to be?
Was it?
Michael Crichton's wife and Noah Wiley don't get along very well because of it. But there was originally the plan was to do something very close to it. And there was a lawsuit that's involved. They got out of it and they made The Pit. And he was like, listen, ER followed the patients a great deal. Went to their homes, all that kind of stuff. The Pit really isn't. It's about the mental fortitude of emergency responders. So he was like, this is what we want to do. And they just separated. They were like, yeah, it's not going to work. So they ended up doing what we have now, which I think is better.
Yeah. I mean, different format too.
Different format, yeah.
They're going to take the shittiest day you can possibly think of and depict that for you, show like what they have to do on one of these. It's crazy.
ER is probably my favorite show of all. It's not my favorite show of all time. I don't want to say that. I put ER over here. It's different because it's so fantastic that like I've rewatched it like less than a year ago. I love that show. But The Pit is certainly less interesting when it comes to like the storylines can't be as deep because they don't want to be as deep. So they're sort of like, you know, and
it's
they're
more
only
transient.
An hour. Yeah,
it's all
transient. It's an hour. However, showing that somebody's losing their shit, that a doctor is like, dude,
you can see it throughout the day, like this person started fresh.
Yes.
And now they're like, I'm just done.
Dude, the
I can't
anti-vaxxer mom
take
who pulls up her phone to
so
look
great.
at Google, and he loses his shit. He's like,
sorry, do you want us to wear masks in the operation?
He walks outside and the door shuts, and he's like, motherfucking Google doctors out here killing kids. And I'm like, thank God, because like
that's a great crash
in
out.
The show are there because of a vaccine. Like they're alive because we did fix something with the vaccine. And so his reaction to it is like, what the fuck are they trying to do? Like the kid is in dire straits. They're absolutely at the end of their life, and we know exactly what to do. What I love is they only have 1 or 2 episodes like that. The rest are not crazy. Drowning, injury at work, a person who's got a weird illness, and I like that. And I like that people make mistakes way more in the. Well, they don't make mistakes as much as they don't always have to get their boss to come up with a good idea, which ER hinged on that. ER was always about, I think something, I'm going to bring my boss in who's going to come up with a crazy thing like House, where House would be like, in the last 6 months, has there been a full moon that you were out naked in? Yes. Well, then you have tuberculosis, municus, lunicus, lupicus, And in this one, it's like, those people are the best. And they're trying their best, and then maybe they make a mistake.
And the new guys are good too.
But the new guys,
they know their shit.
The new kids come up, and instead of being John Carter was treated like shit in the first 3 seasons because he was being hazed. There's no time for hazing. In this show, I think they do one thing to one of the kids. They do something with his scrubs, the kid who keeps getting pissed on and vomited on.
That was so funny.
And yet he comes back, and he's just like. They listen to him. So he has something, they listen to him the very next section, and they're like, oh, you know what? He's right. And you know me, I love team. I think the Pit is fucking incredible, dude. And bravo to that guy. Because
they get to work, They put shit aside.
Yep.
And it's...
No matter what.
Let's get cracking.
Dude, Noah Wiley, he has ER. He's got the Librarian series, which is like 4 seasons. He's got Falling Skies, which I adore as an alien show. That's 6 seasons, which we just finished again. And then he's got the Pit. He has just consistently put in TV work. And he's consistently good. Like, Librarian was goofy, but he is good. Like, he's just good. He shows up, and I buy... Dude, his sweaty... The first episode of The Pit, he looks like he ran timed miles and then rolled into a pile of dirt and showed up to work. He's got a sweatshirt that's all... like, sort of gross. And he's got his grayish beard and stuff, and he's just... And, he's washing his hands. He's making sure he's clean. But there's something works... That guy looks like he works in a place where you don't have time... to look good, where ER, everybody looked good. In ER, somebody'd be sweaty, but they'd still have their hair coiffed in a perm. They'd pull off their little hat. Like, what's his name? Eric LaSalle, always jacked and shit, like, what's up? And in this one, the doctor doesn't have a leg. The one doctor who's missing his leg.
Oh, yeah, true. Friend, and they don't even talk about it, by the way.
They don't even talk about it.
It's just like...
Yeah. They're just like,
I was like, hold on a second.
Yeah, he just puts his leg back on. And what I love about that is it was a subtle jibe at everybody for bitching about being tired or whatever. That dude literally came in, worked all through all the shit, and he sits out on the park bench, has a beer, and pulls his own leg off. And yet not once did they draw attention to him missing a leg. They never were like, oh, are you sure you can keep up? He's just like fucking doing his shit, and then he rubs his leg, puts his leg back on, grabs a beer, and goes home.
Let's do this.
Yeah,
see you tomorrow, bitch.
And I love their relationship. When Noah's up there, and the guy's like, "You've taken my suicide spot," because they both stand at the edge of the building, and I was like, "What does that mean?"
Coming back full circle to that.
Comes back full circle
at the end.
Yes,
it's great.
So good, man. So good.
And I noticed they never have music.
No,
they never have like
music
background.
Yeah, they chose that
in a weird way. I heard him talk about it in an interview that the medical chatter becomes your music, your background.
Yeah.
And the foreground is actually the reactions, the slight emotions on people's faces, the confidence of one person or the hesitancy of another, and that kind of becomes the foreground. It's super cool.
If you listen closely too, you can hear mistakes being made on purpose, so that'll foreshadow something. So if you listen very close, one of the characters that you're going to meet in a second, one of the hurt people, you can hear them being like, "Oh my gut," but they're completely not a part of that scene. But if you listen, they purposely wanted you to hear what a doctor hears, which is like the cacophony of sorry, but sorrow. Nobody goes to the hospital to go, well, today's going to be great. I'm going to break my arm on purpose because this is fucking fun. So the entire musical aspect is this dire dread of human suffering, and their job is to quiet it. And Noah Wiley was saying at the end, the job is to sort of remove those, to lower those down so that the suffering is that's our job, suffering less, person helped, person healed if we can, but it's not remember, they're not doing full surgeries there. It's mostly about emergency room. So a person comes in pain, they leave better than they came in. And dude, yeah. The last episodes of that were hard to watch though. My wife was at a place that had a shooting, and so I was like worried. I didn't know how she was going to react to the end, because like that's a PTSD kind of thing for a lot of people, not her as much, but she even loved it.
I can imagine,
dude, she was like, that was so good. And the confusion where because it reminds me of like the bombers at I think it was the Philadelphia Marathon, where the two people bombed the marathon at the end, where everybody thought it was one person, and Reddit was like, we know what we're talking about, and they were leading everybody astray with bad advice. And in the show, they sort of show that. They're like, oh, we think it's probably this. And then you still have people going, but we don't know for sure. That's the other thing. In a lot of shows, if somebody does something, people react instantly. They're like, we need to call everybody. What I love about The Pit is he's like, wait a minute. We don't 100% know. We don't want to ruin somebody's life because they said something. Like, we're not going to freak out like that. And I think that's sort of cool about The Pit, is they're anti the current establishment, which is somebody's, we're going to all freak out to the highest level. Instead, he's like, well, let's verify, was this just somebody said something, or somebody was having a bad day? Let's look into it. And I love it. I didn't like that she got punched by the dude, though.
No, that was rough to watch, man.
That guy's Clayface from Gotham, the TV show. He's And he levels the blonde lady. Obviously.
Yeah, man, it was
but he levels her.
But it was really rough.
It was brutal.
Really rough to watch.
And did you see this? Did they show the statistic where they were showing the rise in victims who are nurses and doctors being physically attacked at emergency rooms? It's like skyrocketed. And I thought that was Boston Marathon. Thank you very much. I thought that was really cool that they covered, that so quickly.
Yeah, good way to show that, because not really something you would know unless you're really in those.
Yeah. And can I admit, he had a point. I don't mean the hitting. He had been treated like shit for a great deal of time, and he was having a heart attack kind of situation. And because of how the world works and who gets treated first, that guy had been there for 6 hours. And he was like, all I want is and so they bring him back, and the nurse guy with the black curly hair, he's like flicking him shit. Well, he's flicking them shit too, but they're flicking him shit back. They sort of caused a bit of the issue. They're like, oh, you're being seen right now. And they pull him back, and they're like, oh, actually, we're going to read your thing, and we're going to put you back in the emergency room. And there's a very cool study that Rory talks about. If a person goes from the emergency room to a different room, their sense of moving forward and being helped is like 75% higher than if you go back and you go back.
Put them in a waiting room.
Put them somewhere else, and they will feel like they're advancing through the system. And they didn't. They put him back, and I was like, "Oh, that's a
putting him.
Lesson.
Yeah, that was rough.
Great show. I would love a game based on that. I'd watch the shit out of that, man. I'd watch the shit out of it. I'd play it. Sorry, I would play an ER game. I think that'd be fun.
What would be the gameplay?
You'd probably just
more like
seeing somebody quick, like that emergency ambulance game I previewed a couple months ago, where you're like giving people shots and you're trying to get them somewhat stable so you can take them. Yeah. Yeah, it was good. That was a we exploded on that. You can tell we like the pit. Jesus.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it's great, man. I'm excited for the second season.
Yeah, you got a ton of shows you can watch now. There's a lot of stuff coming out. There's a lot of stuff out. A lot of stuff I haven't seen. Will Trent is amazing, by the way. You seen Will Trent?
No.
Talk about a show I thought I would have no desire to see. I don't know. I know some of the actors now, but I didn't know. And it's just a cop show, like a Bosch kind of thing, or a Bosch. Holy fuck, is it fantastic, dude? It is fucking so good. I was watching the first episode, and I'm like, oh, did you ever see Traffic with Michael Douglas, Catherine Zeta-Jones? It's about drug. Yep. The daughter.
Yeah.
I believe it's the same girl. She's the girlfriend in it. She's a cop. Will Trent's a cop. And Will has a bit of OCD, but he's just really good at thinking crimes through. And
yeah,
it's got Zach from the old TV show from Nickelodeon, Life, where they're in school. Mario Lopez was the other actor in it. I can't remember.
Don't know if I've seen that one.
But they've got him in it, and dude, I'm telling you, it's like 5 seasons. It is fucking phenomenal. And they do the craziest shit. They'll just be in Puerto Rico for like 6 episodes, or they'll be undercover for like 5 episodes, and you sort of have to catch up. They'll give you a little brief like 6 months ago. They move time a great deal in it. So it'll be like 5 episodes, and then they'll be like 3 months later. You're like, oh, whoa, that's and it gives them a flexibility. Saved by the Bell, thank you. It gives them this flexibility, dude, that is, and I know I've added 60 movies to your
we're doing this
list,
thing completely differently now. Or like we're doing this different thing now, rather.
Dude, it's awesome. It's like, it is such a unique show. It's got a bit of humor.
I'll check it out.
And it's got a bit of humor, but I think you will genuinely like it even maybe that more than like a Bosch, which is dark. This one's dark, but
Bosch
it's
is
dark in a different way.
It's great, though.
Bosch is amazing, but at times you're like, damn, can someone smile? Dude, Titus?
Yeah.
His girl will come in and she'll be like, I just won the beauty pageant. I got my graduate degree. I'm going to go do this, blah, blah, blah. And he'll be all, okay. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the most. And do
that's
you know
what
who
you're
he smiles
getting.
at? My wife brought this up. My wife is like, do you realize the only people he smiles at are the criminals? Because he knows he's caught them? And I'm like, wait.
Oh,
that's
true.
He
smirks.
It's like it's like when you watch Longmire. Yeah. Walt. One time Walt smiles is when he's threatening to fucking kill somebody. In that entire show, he comes up to somebody and is like, and if you do blah blah blah, well. And you're like, wait, what? What is happening? Walt's face broke into, and it is the most malevolent, I'm going to crawl up your anus and explode inside of you kind of moment where I was like, damn, Walt just threatened that guy with his fucking life. And it's the only dude. He doesn't even smile to his girlfriend. He doesn't laugh, but they smile at the bad guys. Yeah, it's cool. You should, dude. Yeah, you should check out Will Trent. And if you haven't checked, I think you saw Longmire, right? Did you watch Longmire?
No.
Dude, so many shows, man. Anyway,
gotta catch up. I was catching up on Euphoria as well.
That's
still very early on that. It's a bit rough because I'm like drug use is like for me it's hard to watch.
It's gross
because I don't do drugs or anything. But it's rough to watch people. It's very well made. It's a good like kind of teenage drama. It's very explicit, but it is very well made and like good actors and stuff.
There's did you see the episode where somebody spits on their hand? I'll just say that.
I mean, there has already been some spitting on hands. Yes, I don't know if it's the one you're talking about.
Probably the one I'm talking about. Yeah,
it might be,
dude.
Yeah, it's already been very explicit.
You're talking to somebody. I'm not chaste. What?
No, you're not easily
doors,
like.
Yeah. I'm totally fine with all that. But even I was like, damn, seriously?
Yeah.
Like,
for
seriously?
Sure.
That's one thing that, like, it's hard to describe to somebody, but, like, it's a part of things that may happen that you just don't see ever shown, even though it may occur and it may actually be sort of like not even surprised, but to show it on TV, and I knew instantly what was going on, and I was just like, oh man, wow,
God
okay,
damn,
this show it's there. Yeah, it's
going there. Yeah,
I watched it. I felt that it got gratuitous for gratuity's sake. Like after a while, you're like, okay, like
HBO sometimes has a bit of that,
does.
like getting a bit gratuitous. Yeah.
The Boys
like Game of
did
Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Game
the
of
number
Thrones.
of dogs we.
Yeah. Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. Sometimes you're like, okay, we get it. Well, I guess
it's like
that's
really.
The books, but
do we need this like full pubic shaving scene?
Oh my god. Oh, dude. So Game of Thrones is the first season, I believe. Littlefinger is talking to. It could be Lannister. It could be somebody else. While two women are fingering each other.
Right.
And he's explaining how to do it correctly. And now listen. I'm telling you again. I just don't have any issues with that. But seeing the callousness in way, and it was a well-filmed scene to show you the callousness, but it doesn't. I was just like, okay, damn.
How like it's a purely mechanistic thing for him. He's just like
systematic, completely divorced of, because many people grow up on Pretty Woman. It's like, oh no, the Lady of the Night still got feelings. She still can love a man and he can love her dirty soul and they can live together forever. And he's like, no, use your finger like this. And you're like, damn, okay. Well, that's a lot. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Did you see that one? The Night of the Kingdom? The newest one they did?
I've watched the first 2 episodes. Yeah.
Okay. I watched that. I thought that was quite good. I enjoyed that.
Do you think the comedy or the
was it? Yeah, a bit more the comedy, a bit more grounded, and it's also short. It was kind of a nice short story going on with.
Do you think it helps too because it's not the mechanisms of leadership that are in Game of Thrones normally can get a little tiresome. You're like, yes, this is the leader of blah blah blah. This is the guy blah blah blah. This that
all the politicking.
Yeah, all the politics. And in that one, at least the 2 episodes I've seen, it's such a low level person that for the most part, he's just
outside of that realm.
He's just sort of outside of that realm. And I think the part I thought was funny was he taking a piss or did he get the shits behind a tree? One of the two, but I was like, what is happening in this show? Yeah,
definitely.
Dude, it's just like games where, like, I had somebody tell me, I watched The Boys, I finished up, and somebody's like, okay, well, what did they say? The exact words were, I'll get this right. The end of The Boys is an affront and an insult to me as a watcher, or whatever. And I was like, okay, listen. Maybe I need to be insulted more. But I was like, it was a show. It ended and it wasn't great. That's it.
I haven't seen the finale yet.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. I was just like, oh.
You didn't like the ending?
It wasn't great. It wasn't great. But it was like, to put that much weight on it and be like, it was an affront and I was offended. And I was like, wow.
But was it like to the level of Game of Thrones final season? Like.
It was as bad, I would say.
Okay.
So if you look at Game of Thrones final season and you look at The Boys final episode, the final season had some really fun parts in The Boys. It just wasn't put together as they weren't, the level wasn't there. Where Game of Thrones, the last season is like, right?
Pretty much all over the place is
But then you get like Lost, where people are like, oh my God, Lost's ending is the worst thing ever. And I watched it and I was like, what are you talking about? Like that was.
I rewatched it a year ago.
To finish it up, that was there's only like 3 ways to finish that show. So it was like that was sort of doable. I would say this is definitely worse than Lost. Its ending is just sort of like, oh, that wasn't as good as I thought. But to get there, I still am not going to go back and neuter the rest of it and say, oh, I hated everything and it was an affront. To be insulted, I have to be insulted. Like a show can't.
Because this is the end of the show, right? Isn't it?
Well, yeah, and then they have their spinoff. With Jensen Ackles and the Supernatural guys.
I mean, I think it's just they have to wrap it up now. It's at that point where, we've seen so much of it we've iterated through all of these characters so much. We really need to wrap it up. So
I will tell you this, once you watch
even if it's not.
We'll talk about it. I do think I could I think that if, you know how Yes Men, we were talking about that? I think maybe the boys could have done with one or two Steves in the room.
Yeah. Like,
Truly.
hey, guys.
And dude, I'm not joking when I say this. I actually do believe this should be I'm not joking at all. This is a true belief of mine that if I was a showrunner, I think I would do that. As in, dragging some people that I know disagree, and it sucks, I know that, but and have them sort of piece up the ending so that I have to defend it, because I actually believe you could have had somebody. There's only a couple things you could have fixed and had it actually have been probably the best episode of the last season, which isn't saying much because it's not the greatest season, but had it been, there was only a couple things, and I've heard this thing said, I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to spoil it, where people are like, why did this thing happen here and blank?
Yeah,
that,
right.
I feel has been brought up by enough people that would have been something somebody would have seen or heard and been like, wait a minute, if this is the end, maybe we should. But I think there's a nihilism that I've seen, and Battlestar Galactica had this ending that people said the same thing. They were like, why did it do this? And I'm like, well, it wasn't that bad. But I do also agree that there's a nihilistic view in the boys. And if you look at Battlestar Galactica, the cyclic nature, there's a cyclic nature in the boys. And it's like, oh, maybe the showrunner becomes a bit nihilistic and is sort of deep into that nihilism of like, we can't end with like this sort of happy-go-lucky thing. And Stranger Things got brought up for this. Stranger Things last episode, I was okay with it. I think there was one or two things that they could have done to make that the best episode. And I feel like all these we're talking about, there's like there's one thing per each one of these episodes that if you had changed it, instead of saying, oh man, people would have been like, that's the best episode of the season, not the best episode of the show. But I think you could have done that with the boys. I think you could have done it with Battlestar. With Battlestar in particular, there's only two things where I'm like, that's weird that they didn't do that because it feels like it just makes sense. But yeah, well, I can't wait. I can't wait for you to see it because Supernatural, I think, ended really well, and some people had some issues with that too. And I actually think Supernatural ended in one of the only ways it probably with 15 seasons.
I'm very
you're
curious
yourself into a hole
to get there. Some
I think you'll be fine
at some point.
I think you'll be fine with it. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this up. What are you streaming this weekend?
Cool. So I'm playing some Forza and League of Legends this weekend on the stream. I also did a video today about Subnautica 2. If people want to hear more of my thoughts, I got that on my channel as well.
On like just your overall,
but the gaming.
Like
if you search
piece,
Johnny Plays Live, it's I call them spotlights. So they're not full on reviews, but they are kind of a spotlight to the game. What are the cool parts of it that spoke to me? Why I wanted to talk about the game.
That's smart. Yeah, so people check that out. Johnny Plays Live on YouTube, and I'm going to be streaming Valorant.
That would be a shocker. Dude, if I see you tomorrow boot up like YouTube stream playing Valorant. Wow.
Now, we've thought about doing a couple streams, but it's just too much. I mean, there's like, especially right now where I live, there's always an interruption. There's a dog. Nobody else is bothered by this. I watched a stream from somebody who I really like, and they had like a dog bark, a mailman come, but I'm always stressed about that. Like if I'm sitting here, I want to be sitting here. But yeah, there's been a couple times where I've started streaming it. I would, if I do, I'll stream something nobody expects. It'd be like Valorant, or it'd be like
Division 2.
League of Legends. Oh, Division 2, I would love to. I mean, because that's just having fun. But League of Legends, something that people know. I'm streaming like NBA 2K. Anyway, that'll be it for us. I want to say thanks to Johnny as always. Thanks, you guys. Silver will be back next week. He was out last week, and we usually just always have him alternating. So he'll be back next week unless something else happens. He had a family issue. You'll be able to see some videos from me next week. It's sort of a tight week. Waiting on some code, but that'll be it for us. Thank you everybody for showing up, hanging out with us. We hope you have a excellent weekend. Enjoy whatever you're playing, watching, listening to, driving, painting,
massaging.
What?
Weak.
What?
It doesn't have to be sus. You know, you're just
Sculpting, maybe, but I don't know about
Yeah.
massaging. Anyway, that'll be
Let's
it
go
for
with
us.
that.
Thanks,
Good.
everybody. Peace out. Massaging. What?